Hello, hello, hello. Is this on? All right, let me try this again. Hello. All right. All right, I think Zoom is playing me. No, it's not. All right, so if Zoom ain't playing me, why can't I hear shit? Oh, never mind. Got it. All right, so might as well just get into it. So the manosphere is funny. I know y'all seen over the last like I don't know month, probably month, maybe a few weeks. No, it's been about a month. Yeah, like the nigga conservatives come out of the I don't know where they came from, but they here. All of a sudden, everybody's conservative, right? Hood conservative, all the other shit. So everybody all of a sudden is about politics because I guess people are looking for a different something else to talk about because people have been like slamming the shit out of the typical manosphere topics. You know, like the game shit is running to the ground. The fucking pretty much the anything dating, mating, relationship has been running to the ground because no matter what happens, it keeps getting reset. The conversation keeps resetting, keeps resetting, keeps resetting. So people are trying to look for something else to talk about. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Like people are just literally looking for shit to talk about. So that so from this is like I've seen people hop onto the politics thing, but they hopped onto the politics without even doing any research about politics. It seemed like they just want to talk about it without any without any knowledge of what they're talking about, and that's I mean only word for that is fucking stupid. So you got people on both sides. You know, you got a lot of the pro blacks. You know, they lean Democratic and whatnot. You got a lot of dudes who are on the conservative side, and they just like Trump dick suckers, but they don't even know the difference, the real differences between both candidates. They just know talking points that they see on TV, and I know this because I watch them. I listen to them talk. I listen to these dudes talk, and they'll go to what is it, blackdemographics.com, grab a bunch of black demographics statistics, and then throw them up on YouTube and shit, and then they go on political now. But like going to grab statistics and then not having context is ridiculous because we need more context. We need more context. So I don't know, man. Just watching people do this shit is. I mean, it is funny. Don't get me wrong. It is kind of hilarious because you get to see people that don't know what the fuck they talking about um, taking topics that need you to understand what they are before you start talking about them, and then just start talking about them. So anyway, that I guess my effort is basically to basically show both sides of it, right? So you got people who are voting for people instead of the policies, because you're MOT talk about policies. No one's paying attention to the policy side. They just, you know, it's people, racism and all that other shit, right? So all you gotta do is like get people riled up and go racism. They'll jump in that shit. So if we look at both sides, and I got a bunch of sources. So you got sources all over the place. You got whitehouse.gov. They got information on Trump's policies. If you go to the Washington Post, they got information on all of the COVID stuff between both candidates, bbc.co.uk. There's a ton of different articles. Like there's articles going back to like 2016, and that there was a lot of research. So I had to categorize everything. bbc.co.uk, Forbes.com, Politico, Market Watch, Bureau of Labor and Statistics.gov. That's a good one because that's like raw information that you get from the government because it's all public record. You can go to Bureau of Labor Statistics. and get almost any information you want. I didn't, some links I should have put up there, CDC, the FDA, shit, what else can you go? Forbes is a good place. Politico, the Motley Fool, shit, where else? It's a bunch of sites you can go to. So basically what I do is, like, if I read an article, I'll copy a piece out of that article, throw it into an Excel spreadsheet so I can remember what was said. And then I do this for both sides. If I see something that the Democrats are doing, I'll snip it. If I see something the Republicans are doing, I'll snip it. So both sides, I gather all that information, throw it into an Excel spreadsheet, and whatever topic it's on, I'll put it in that topic. So if it's about, like, let's just say taxes, I'll put it in there for taxes. If it's about healthcare, I'll throw it in a thing for healthcare and stuff like that. So it'll be in these categories. So, like, for instance, with the category of, say, COVID-19 or taxes, like, yeah, we can start there. Let's just look at taxes. So Biden and Trump have two different things about taxes, right? And these are so these are policies. This is actually their economic policies, because when it comes down to it, the election is going to be about what's the famous saying? It's the economy, stupid. So that's what it's going to be about, the economy. That's what it's going to come down to, because no one wants to be out here starving. Nobody really give a fuck about anything else that's going on in the world other than how they're going to eat the next day. So, anyway, yeah, get into it. So on Biden's side, he wants to raise taxes on anyone making more than like $400,000 or $500,000, something like that. But he wants to keep the current taxes at the same level it's at right now for anybody making under that. So if the tax rate is, I don't know, 20 some odd percent, it stays there until you get to $400,000. And then it jumps up, to like 39%, like 40% of your money will go to the government if you make more than $400,000 a year. So that is the Democratic side on the tax issue. So on this tax issue. So they also want, for the top tax bracket, people who go over $500,000. And if you're married and y'all make $622,000 together, like as a married couple, if you make over $622,000, your taxes go to the top, which is 39.6% or 40%. So, however, the tax benefits of itemized deductions get capped. You can tax your you can get your itemized deductions taxed to about 28% of the value, but that's the cap. It can't go any higher than that. So basically, anybody with a tax rate higher than 20% would see a 28-cent tax reduction for every dollar, 28%. Like, so let's just say you give to charity, right? Every dollar you give to charity, you get a 28% tax reduction. So you would pay low taxes if you pay like 30% of your money to charity. Now, that's typical. I mean, we do that now. If you give a certain percentage of money to charity, your overall taxes get lowered. But the thing is, it's a zero sum, because you're getting taxed anyway. And then when you give your money away to charity, that's still a tax. So if you add your income tax or regular tax rate with your charitable contribution, you're still paying like what, a couple percent off of your normal tax rate. So I really see the benefit to charitable contributions, unless you're like a company that's getting away with a lot of shit anyway, or you have like a bunch of capital gains taxes where you're paying like a crazy low tax rate anyway, and then if you give to charity, you get an even lower tax rate. I can see you taking advantage of it if you're in that kind of situation. But if you're in a normal situation where you just have a job and you make money, I don't see the benefit of tax charitable contributions, especially if you already getting taxed out the ass. So Biden also wants to increase the long-term capital gains tax rate, which is placed on profit from that shit that you don't work for, like stocks and bonds, real estate money, that type of thing. Wants to raise that literally 16%. So it will go from 23.8% to 39.6% for people with incomes over $1 million. If you make $1 million, and let's just say you're $1 million real estate guy, you can clear $1 million, over $1 million a year, you are going to get taxed on capital gains tax, because again, you're not working. It's not money that you're toiling for. It's money that you get from assets. So if you get over $1 million, your rate will go up 16%. That is a lot. The corporate tax rate is going to get raised 7%. So if you have a LLC, corp, or whatever it is, your corporate tax rate under Biden will go up 7%. They're also going to impose sanctions on like tax havens. So if you're like Apple and you keep a lot of money in another country or whatever because you don't want to pay taxes at all, you're going to get sanctioned, like as if you were a foreign entity. Also, they're going to raise tax rates on foreign profits. So if you have a subsidiary in a foreign country, and you do dealings, that's a subsidiary is somehow, connected to America, whatever that foreign subsidiary of yours is going to pay higher taxes. So this is Democratic plans. So basically, most of the policies in Biden's tax plan would raise $3.375 trillion in additional tax revenue. Duh, because they're raising a lot of money. It would increase spending by $5.37 trillion and decrease the federal debt by 6.1. Well, yeah, that makes sense, because he's basically taking a lot of money from me. I mean, that's math, right? That's how math works. So we'll look at Trump's on the other side. So at the beginning of his term, Trump signed what was called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act now, which went the opposite direction. It lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. So when Golden asked if that is really even possible, yes, because again, in the other direction, that's a large percentage. That's 14%. You go from 35% to 21%. And that's basically, this is what they talk about when they say corporate welfare, where like he basically cut their taxes. He also changed the income level of individuals at the highest tax bracket. They went from 39.6% to 37%. Biden wants them to go back to the 39.6% for individuals. So because Trump dropped it by 2%, or 2.5%, and Biden wants to get that 2.5% back. So there you go. So I tried to find the most even-handed information. So Trump said the economy would grow between 4% and 5% after his cuts. It ended up growing 3% after 2 years. It was signed into law, which is good, because I mean the plan was 4 to 5%, over his term, but it was 3% in 2 years, which was pretty, the performance of that was pretty good, because it grew the economy. That's why when people was talking about, if you hear people say like black men did get jobs under Trump, I mean, it is true. But pre-COVID, the economy was actually in decent shape and jobs were out there for people. It was one of those things where he basically was like, here's some money to hire people. If you don't, I'll take it back. That's pretty much all. Or basically, here's some money to hire people. If you don't, then you know what's going to happen. I'll get booted out of here in 4 years. They're going to jack your taxes up, and then you know you're going to be pissed about it. So you might as well start hiring people. This is a win-win. That's pretty much all Trump's plan was about, forcing companies to hire people by just giving them more money, but by under threat of Democratic rule coming in and changing shit if they don't comply. Compared to Biden's plan, Trump wants to reduce the rate, the capital gains rate from 23%. Well, 24% actually. That's where it's at. He wants to reduce it all the way to 15% capital gains. Capital gains used to be 15%, I think, under Clinton. But so he had a tax cut 2.0 plan that would have been released this month, but it's not. And it's not because of COVID. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because COVID is here and we're too close to the election for that shit for him to pull that off. With that, it would have been a 10% cut for middle income taxpayers, which would have been dope. Which would have been dope if that would have happened, like a 10% cut. Trump also recently deferred the collection of payroll taxes. My job got a letter saying that. My job had a letter saying, hey, they sent it to all of us. They were like, hey, they're going to defer collecting taxes. However, that wouldn't have done anything. It just pauses the taxes till next year, and then you get hit with them, and then you pay the shit anyway late, and then it's, you know, you don't know what the hit is. So the two companies I work for, they declined. They were like, nope, we all good on that. They're like, nah, we're not gonna take this deferral. We're just gonna keep taxing as usual, you know, and roll on through fiscal year, because we take this deferment and then we got to pay this shit anyway. You know, the same thing happens with student loans. The student loans got deferred, so you don't have to pay your student loans right now, but I would recommend keep paying that shit, because if you have student loans, pay it during this time, because you'll actually save a lot of money during this time where you don't have to pay any, basically you're not paying interest on it, so just pay it. So you'll make more money. I mean, I would do it. So that leads us into like more money shit. So, I mean, if you look at their tax plans, they basically just have a opposing strategy. On the one hand, Trump is appealing more to business and enterprising individuals, right? And when I say enterprising individuals, it's just fancy language for people who want to get off their ass and do something. Biden is appealing to people on a level of, I'm going to lower these taxes for you, but at what cost? Because it seems like he's lowering taxes, but he's lowering taxes for people that don't make all the money, and jacking the taxes up for people who do make all the money. But the people who make all the money are going to end up running, which is why the contingency is to tax the shit out of people who have tax havens and foreign subsidiaries. See, that's the thing. You basically say, you're going to do this or else. And then if they try to run, you just kick them in the back while they're running. So that's, in a nutshell, Biden's tax plan. Trump's tax plan, on the other hand, is I'm gonna hand out all this money to corporations via tax cuts. I'm also going to lower individual taxes by 10%, which again is awesome. In 2017, my taxes got lowered actually, and I claimed zero. So when that was the first time I actually got a tax return, because I claimed zero. And instead of it going to child support, it went to me, because I had so much money after claiming zero and getting a tax reduction, that I had money that was left over from child support went to me. But then I got off. I mean, I was off child support last year, November, so I didn't even get taxes back after getting off child support, because I adjusted for that, and then so I could not have to do. So I didn't want to overpay it, so I just adjusted. And I knew I was going to be off child support in November, so it was like perfect timing. So I mean, it worked out being able to do that, that way, because under Democratic rule, I never had my taxes get dropped to that level. Now I've been working a long ass time. So anyway, those are both parties' tax policies. In a nutshell, you got one. They're basically going in opposite directions. One wants to go the direction of, here's some free money, and one wants to go the direction of, we're gonna take this money from rich people. Because the thing is, if everyone got their taxes lowered by 10%, right? Doesn't matter you like, so middle income people, right? So anybody making over like 50 grand, I think that's what they classify as middle income. So if you got like a job in, let's just say help desk, whatever, and you're single, and you're a single guy with a job in help desk, or you're a single guy who just got out of college and you're going into accounting or whatever it is, or business management, whatever it is you're going into, and you go in with your entry salary, you get a 10% tax reduction on top of being single. I mean, I understand if you did like me and had fucking kid and you fucked up, yeah, it's not gonna help you. But that whose fault is that? I mean, really, I'm talking about people who we can't just say, we can't say like people who made like severe mistakes are the norm, right? Because we're not the norm. We know from all this dating and relating talk and relationship talk over the last fucking decade that people who made all the mistakes are not the norm. They're not even close to the norm. Most black men don't even have kids. So anyway, if you're just a normal person out here and you got a job, you get a 10% tax reduction, and you fucking, you get money. You end up being, I mean, you're pretty rich when you ain't got no kids and you make like 50 grand. Your money is going to you. So if we look at the other money shit, like when COVID did hit, what happened to the economy? Hit the tank, just went in the tank. You look at what Trump did there. Basically, there's been like $6 trillion spent on COVID. I mean, there's an article I read today in the BBC. So anyway, the rest of the Republican Party was like, fuck no, we're not giving free money to COVID. We're not doing that. It's stupid. Trump was like, I kind of have to, or else everybody gonna be on my ass. You see how the Dems coming at me. You see how everybody is crying. Like we're gonna fuck around and have riots. So we have to do this. We have to. So the economic relief bill came out, and then people got stimulus payments on the order of about $1.5 trillion. Everybody knows that. And then the Washington Post reported this, that Trump wanted to put out another $1.5 trillion. So, and ended up being bipartisan. Like both sides voted on this after it got to a degree where people were about to fucking go ape shit. So that plan would include another $1,200 of stimulus checks. Then Trump decided to go, okay, if we're gonna just shit the bed economically, we might as well go all the way. So go higher. I still don't understand the logic behind that, but it's just like, well, if we're gonna shit the bed on the money, we already gave this many. Like, what does it matter if we go a bit higher at this point, right? So that's pretty much the nutshell, because I mean, we all seen it over the last year. We've all seen the COVID response from the White House. So that's pretty much it. Biden, if he gets into office, he wants to basically have an emergency paid leave plan, right? So if you get sick, you work for Uber, the plan would cover 100% of your salary, depending on how much earnings you get. However, it's capped at $1,400 a week, which, think about $1,400 a week. That's $5,600 fucking dollars a month that you would just get in money. Like, Anyway, that's a lot of money. So you could theoretically go get a job. I don't know, fucking Grubhub, average out your income with some pay stubs, and then go. I make this much a week. You could go like take your highest earnings week, or I don't know how they average that money out like that, because I don't know how you would average that out. So you go and try to average your money out and try to get it to like, the high end, like maybe 1,000 weeks. You get like $4,000 a month or some shit. This is under Biden's plan. Basically, just give people free money depending on what their job's potential is. Free testing for COVID for everybody who needs it. I mean, duh. Free. So here's the thing. This is the part where the welfare comes in. So I don't know what this has to do with COVID. Excuse me, but the Dems want to, or Biden's policy includes loan forgiveness for federal student loans and federal mortgages. So any government loan or government mortgage, they'll just fucking just forgive it. or do like extreme forbearance, right? Also, they want to give you interest-free loans to you have to qualify, of course, but it's really, individuals can, but it's really for small businesses. So let's just say you have a cleaning company, right? And it's hard for you to clean because hotels have their COVID policy, and your cleaning company can't really do their job because they won't allow all of your employees in there. It's, whatever. So you'd get a small loan, an interest-free loan, because you can't, your business won't survive through this if you're not able to get into a hotel and clean, stuff like that. So Biden also wants to, he wants to, first of all, forgive student loans and mortgages that are government backed, but then at the same time fully staff government agencies and task forces that are focused on the health security. I like figure that one out. So he's basically taking money from one government side and giving it to another. He's taking money from everything he doesn't deem important and then giving it to the health side that are dealing with the health crisis. And then when it comes to another round of COVID money, Biden's just kind of on the fence about it. He's like, yeah, but we've already given away enough money. How about focusing on a cure? Which makes sense. You can't really knock that. That's actually some common sense shit. Why keep giving away the money when all people are doing is getting it and fucking it off, when it could just go towards funding for a vaccine? Like, seriously, why? Like, you gotta agree with Biden on that. Like, fuck giving away the money. Like, people are spending that shit up. They don't care. So then we'll look at more money shit. Since we were just talking about the loans, let's look at the student loan shit. So Biden wants to make 4-year colleges. So let me know if this reminds you of someone. There was this guy named Sanders. This is kind of his plan, this welfare. Make 4-year colleges and universities tuition free for students whose families make less than $125,000. So $125,000 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money yearly. Even if you have a family, you could actually take care of a family on $125,000, depending on where you live. Depends on where you live. I do want to qualify that. But $125,000 is a lot of money. So, but college and university tuition free? Holy shit. They want to double the Pell Grants and then cut the payments in half on student loans, federal student loans, so that people would only pay 5% of their income or profit income, like income minus taxes. We'll put it that way. So you'll pay 5% of your net on loans, because basically they're saying school is just as important as housing. That's what the Dems are saying. It's not, they're trying to make college be that way, but college isn't as important as housing and shit. It's not. In fact, people have been going around college because it's been so effeminized and jumping into trades. You do not have to do, college. It's just a way to get college privatized and get money into it. Now, both Trump and Biden are kind of on the same fence with the education shit, except for the fact that the Dems are still in support of the government institutions, but they want the government institutions there, but they don't want to fund them. It's weird. It's almost like they want the government to teach you, but you know what happens when a service is provided by the government? It's shitty. So anyway, so you would get $25,000 towards your loans right now if the Dems got elected. Right now, people pay about 10% of their income on schooling, but they want to have that, to cut that in half. Also, here's the last thing the Dems are trying to do. The loan forgiveness is at 100% for people who've made payments through the program responsibly for 20 years. So basically, however, now keep in mind what I said, Bernie, when I mentioned Bernie Sanders, this is not going to be for men. For every man that gets a loan forgiven, there'll be like 100 women. Okay, this is not for men. Period. This is not for men. Bernie's plan was to forgive women's loans. Now, Biden's not being clear about male or female. He's not being clear about it in his current policy because it's fucking election year and he hasn't gotten in office. But when Bernie was pitching this, it was women, not men. And this is the same thing. No one was talking about 100% loan forgiveness except for Bernie Sanders. No one. And now that the Democrats are doing, now that Biden and Harris has gotten this in their policy, that's not going to change. That's not going to change. Anybody thinking that this loan forgiveness is going to be for men is not going to happen for you. I mean, again, there will be exceptions. There will be men who will have their loans forgiven, but it's going to be like 1 for every 100 women. So I get it. I know that there's going to be some people come through. Oh, you got to do is jump through that hoop and jump through this hoop and jump through that hoop, like people who come with that child support shit. If all of these child support loops actually worked, they would be widespread and men would be doing it all the fucking time. There's no way any of that child support shit would be this best kept secret in the world. There's no way. So whenever I hear that shit, I ignore it 100%. I go research it and find out what it is. And then I go, oh, okay, that's why. And a lot of the times it's not even what they say it is. There's no fucking magic formula for getting rid of child support or escaping it or even doing this custody shit. Because if it was, men would be doing it in droves. Anything that's easy, people do it. So miss me with that shit. So this 100% loan forgiveness, just keep in mind, in 2016, Sanders was pitching this shit. And he was pitching it for women. So it's not going to happen for men. Under Trump, the student loans, what he's trying to do is he's basically put a pause on the student loan payment. So we already know that he's in office, this will happen. He's done it until January because of the crisis, the COVID-19 shit. And Pell Grants. He's put deferments on those, so you don't have to, wind up paying a bunch of interest while you actually cannot even get a job or can't do anything. Also, going with the Pell Grants, they're given year-round instead of fall and spring. So basically, it's a way of giving you welfare without calling it welfare. So instead of outright going, here's some welfare money, he's like, okay, you get Pell Grants for school, right? Okay, so we're going to give you an extra 2 Pell Grants for school. So all you got to do is stay enrolled. You go to online school or whatever it is you do, and you just get Pell Grants all year round instead of the spring and the fall. Again, it's still welfare, but it's a more what's I say, efficient way of doing the welfare, because you're already getting Pell Grants for school. So it's just giving you more grant money. Again, that's a more digestible way of actually doing welfare. And actually, it's a pretty elegant solution, when you think about it, because then people aren't complaining, and the people who are getting it are happy. The people who are not getting it aren't seeing it as fucking welfare, and the people who are getting it are seeing it as like, oh, okay, I need this. So anyway, and Trump has not formally released a plan for student loans, though. It's more of like he outlines changes, basically. So he's gonna, instead of doing what Biden's doing, where he's trying to cut the amount in half, he's basically going to raise it 12%. So it's more like, if you're a student loan borrower, you have to spend about 10 to 12% compared to Biden's proposal of 5. That's pretty high. But what it does is it denotes that school costs money, and it's one of those things where you have to kind of look at things the way that they are in society, right? So most people are leaving schools anyway to go to the trades. This is a way of just saying, if you want to go to college, this is the cost to go to college. Don't go to college and then you end up, you pay half the money, but then you end up being in debt for the rest of your life because you can't get a job because you're learning fucking, feminism 101. Like everything you learn is to teach you how to deal with HR, basically. Whatever job that you're learning in college is not going to be, so first of all, women are going to get first dibs. Let's just look at like doctors and lawyers and shit. Women get first dibs on those classes. Women get first dibs on those jobs. Even if you do get in there, you got to deal with all of that, with all the feminism bullshit on the job, not to mention, all the shit that comes with it. Like, so if you go into trades, you can just kind of, if I went to trades, I wouldn't be half as fucking worried about feminism knocking me off my fucking job like that. Wouldn't even care, wouldn't even be a concern, because there's nothing they can do to me. I'd be fucking unaffected. There's nothing you can do if someone is on a trade. You can't fire people who are important. You just can't. You can't fire a fucking electrician. Who's going to do it? You can't replace. Those people are not easy to replace. You can't replace people like that. So feminism doesn't affect those. Also, bitches don't want to get electrocuted. Yeah, I gotta see a lot of chicks in trade jobs. You're just not. So it's just one of those things where it's if you look underneath the surface of what you read, he's basically saying fuck college is what Trump is saying. He's just saying it without saying it. He wants to also shorten the undergraduate loan period from 20 years to 15, and then increase the graduate loan period. This is people going for PhDs from 25 years to 30 years, because those are career school people. He just doesn't give a fuck about them anyway. Wants to end subsidized student loans from the government and make a public service for loan forgiveness. So basically that program, the public service loan forgiveness program, would forgive federal student debt for public service. So you basically work your loan off, which is smart. Anyway, so let's just say you went to go be a nonprofit employee somewhere, right? You would be working your debt off if you went to go be a nonprofit employee. Like, let's just say you went to go do volunteer work. All the volunteer work you do under that program will go towards your loan. Kaboom. Which is fucking dope. Like I think that's like a proper way to do it. And that's not even me. I even, it's just even handed. This is the information. Just that's pretty cool. Like to basically have people work their loan off. But it's one of those things where if you look under the surface, it's federal student loan forgiveness, sure, like on the surface. But then under the surface, you're basically trading that loan debt for public service. So again, you want to go clean up a park in the summer? Knocks your loan out. You want to go, I don't know, hand some turkeys out on Thanksgiving? Knocks your loan out. You know, anything that you do that is nonprofit, you just report it to that program and boom, you knock your loan out. You knock whatever, you just keep working the fucking, you can knock your loan out and, you know, you can knock your loan out so fucking fast if you're doing volunteer work that goes towards it. Cause I don't know what the amount of money is. It might be high. Who knows? It might be low. It might be high. So also, Trump wants to cap federal student loans because this is the problem. You get out of school and you end up on like $500,000 fucking dollars because you want to be a doctor, and then you end up spending half your career paying your fucking loan off, unless you get lucky and become like the 1% or 1 to 5% of doctors that make a lot of money because they're talented. So you spend your life paying your loan off when you get like a high paid profession. Also, loans will be limited to $50,000 a year and $100,000 total. So, and your parents would only be liable for like $26,000 because when you fill out financial aid information, your parents' information has to be on there just in case you bail out of the loan for any reason. They'll just go to your parents to take money from them. So, and again, all of this shit is economically sound. I mean, this is how, it should be done this way. I don't see why it wouldn't be done this way. It should be done that way. So, I just think that it's just a make sense approach to doing that. But if you compare both plans, again, you see the stark contrast in welfare versus market economics, right? So, which brings us to another economic thing, housing. If we look at, I guess we can start with Trump's. So Trump rolled back Obama's housing rule. So basically, Obama had this thing called AFFH or whatever the fuck it was called. It's basically governments had to make sure that housing was fair in order to receive federal funding, right? So they had to make sure that enough Black people were buying houses in order to get money. Give niggas loans or you will not get money. That's the plan. That was basically that's what Obama put out. So for people who say Obama ever did anything for Black people, there you go. Housing is important. And again, one of his programs was you give Black people houses or you will not get any fucking money. And this was to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So under the Trump administration, the Treasury and the Urban Housing Development basically unleashed some plans that what they want to do is end the control of Fannie and Freddie. They want to privatize all mortgage, which is awesome because we all know what happens when banks have to compete. The prices go down. So you want to be able to have an affordable house, then you don't fuck with, because Fannie and Freddie, you owe those loans no matter what. You can't even file bankruptcy to get out of Fannie and Freddie. You finish. You get a loan through them motherfuckers and it's over. Or if your loan gets sold to them through a bank, it's over with. So Trump wants to end that. He wants to put an end to this government monopoly on these loans because they basically fucking everything up. So the plan, and this is with the urban housing development, because the thing is, if you want Black people to be able to afford houses, then what you do is you make the banks compete for your money. You make the banks compete for your business. If you have enough credit to whatever to get a house, because you have to qualify anyway. You have to qualify anyway to get a loan for a house, right? I mean, that's baseline. You have to qualify first of all. So if you qualify, why go to the government if you qualify? All they're gonna do is put you in debt forever. And push come to shove, you can't file for bankruptcy. You can't even protect yourself. If you get snaked by a bank or something, you can file bankruptcy and leave them holding the bag. But that's not the point of it. The point of it is that when private companies and banks have to compete they have to compete against each other, and because they have to compete for your business. So when you this is just simple fucking economics. If you force competition, then the prices go down. Anyway, Fannie and Freddie Mac control half of all mortgages in the United States. Holy shit. So the plan is to basically open the housing market up to privatization. And again, Fannie and Freddie is not going to go away. They're going to be there. They'll just be they'll be just an extra, they'll be a loan giver just like every other loan giver on the planet, right? They'll be just another loan giver. So you do know that that's the same thing that Obama did with healthcare. So basically, we had all these private companies with healthcare, right? You go to any private company and get healthcare. So all Obama did was say, okay, now the government is going to compete with healthcare. So now the government is a healthcare provider, and you can go to all of these other providers, or you can go to the government. That's all Obamacare was really. I mean, in a nutshell, that's all it was. You're just basically making the government become a healthcare provider, and then doing it and then making that health provider be kind of trying to make it be on the same level of performance as a private company. But of course, the government is going to be cheaper. One of the things that made Obamacare attractive to people is the fact that medicine was cheap. Medicine could be purchased cheap because the government does, unlike private companies. Let's just say somebody in the chat room made Viagra, right? You made Viagra. The secret is yours. You got a patent on it. No one can make Viagra for 7 years because you invented it. So you get a patent, right? The government doesn't have to give a fuck about your patent. So let's just say some medicine comes out that can cure whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's just say some medicine, some bad bitch medicine came out. You bitch drink a potion and becomes hot. And the company had a patent on that. Let's just say feminism lobbied and said bad bitch medicine should be given to every bitch, not just bitches who can afford it. And then the government goes, yeah, fuck that. All bitches should be hot. So the hot chick rule passes, right? The fucking hot chick bill goes through Congress, it gets passed. And now every bitch on the planet, well, every bitch in the United States gets to drink the hot bitch potion because the government says so. The government does not have to give a fuck about the hot bitch patent. They can just make it. They can just make the government version of it. They can just take that patent and wipe their ass with it and make all the hot bitch potions they want. And then, boom. Every bitch is hot, voila. And the government just put whatever company that made hot bitch potion in serious financial trouble. Because they spent a lot of money on R&D. They spent a lot of money on getting that medicine out the door. And the government just basically said, fuck your patent, we're the government. So other private companies can't do that. If there's another company, if there's another healthcare company that comes out with hot bitch potion, they're going to get in trouble because they can't do that. You know, you made it. So the only people that can sell hot bitch potion other than the government is you, but the government is cheaper than you because they're the government and people are getting welfare medicine from the government. So if you get on the government's welfare plan, everybody can get hot bitch medicine. So why would a fat, ugly bitch go get private insurance when she could go to get government insurance and boom, she's hot as fuck a day later? Why? Why would she fuck with a private company when she can go get welfare medicine? It makes no sense. So this is why the Republicans were so dog hard against the Affordable Health Care Act. So if you put it in those terms. So anyway, somebody asked who owns Fannie and Freddie. The Fannie and Freddie is government. So basically, in order for Fannie and Freddie to be released from all of this, you know, highway robbery that they're doing with the loans, they have to have enough money to protect them from losses, from future losses. So they could stop giving the Treasury Department their money, but saving that money probably won't help them because there's a lot of money in debt. So they'd have to sell shares to private investors around the public sector. So they still be technically government controlled. They would just have to make sure that the money that other government sectors would have to put money into Fannie and Freddie to keep them afloat. The Democratic side is basically like, well, Biden's side, since we're doing a comparison of their policies. This is the housing policy, by the way. And this is with the Fannie and Freddie Mac on the housing loans and shit and all of that. So anyway, wait a minute. I want to go over one more thing because I just thought about something. When Trump rolled back that affirmative fair housing rule, when he rolled that back, it looks racist on the surface. Okay? Looks racist on the surface. However, think about what I just said. They're trying to get you from under the thumb of government loans, of Fannie and Freddie Mac. Anybody who has ever had a fucking loan from Fannie and Freddie Mac knows what I'm talking about. You cannot file bankruptcy to get out of those loans. If you get fucked over by a bank, right? If a bank let's just say a bank sold you a shit loan back in 2008 and your loan ended up being through Fannie Freddie Mac, you fucked. You stuck with that the rest of your life. And if you don't pay it, your kids will. See that? So all Trump did, so on the surface, it looks racist by him saying, no, this is a dumbass rule. You're basically putting people in the trick bag. So how about, instead of forcing the government to give niggas loans, how about we just get rid of the motherfuckers? How about we just abolish it and then make banks compete for your money, and then black people will get loans by default? Because if you qualify, you qualify. You know, and that's over with. Also, did you know that anti-discrimination laws apply to private companies? Did anyone know that? Because they do. So private companies are forced to give you fucking money anyway, or else you can just file a fucking discrimination lawsuit against them, and then they have to give you money anyway. Okay. That was a tangent. Let me move on to Biden's housing plan. So Biden's plan was basically, he wants to give like $600 billion over the next decade to housing that's affordable and accessible to those with disabilities. So basically, let's end redlining and discriminatory practices in the housing market. That already got done by Obama, because he basically said, give niggas loans or you will not get funded. And this guy used to be the vice president under Obama, folks. So yeah, so his plan is to end redlining and discriminatory practices, which has already been done under Obama. States receiving federal dollars through certain grants will have to develop a strategy for inclusionary zoning. So basically, no more redlining, but what do they call it? Gentrification. So he's trying to end gentrification through zoning, which again will not work, because gentrification is based on economics, market economics. So basically, when people fuck all their houses up and then they get, I don't know, to the point where the city or state takes the house, people with money, like for instance, let's just say I got like $200,000 in capital, and there's a bunch of shit real estate in some whatever bumfuckville, Ohio. I can just go buy all that shit, and then I can put whoever I want in those houses. So that ain't got shit to do with inclusionary zoning. That has to do with people who have money that come in and don't want their houses fucked up by tenants who are proven to be untrustworthy with rentals. So I don't know how that strategy is going to work. You're going to force people who buy houses to put certain people in. That wouldn't make any sense. That would make everybody leave real estate. That would make everybody leave the rental real estate. No one would rent. Then where would the rentals go? It would go back to like companies, and companies don't give a fuck. If companies get into the rental market, it's over. So again, I don't really know how that plan will work. He wants to create a refundable tax credit up to $15,000 when you purchase a home for the first time. First-time homeowner, sorry, get a refundable tax credit up to $15,000. Now, that's a good idea on the surface, but where does that money come from? So more welfare. He wants to establish a $100 billion fund to construct affordable housing. What does that even mean? $100 billion to construct affordable housing. So you're going to build $100 billion worth of houses and then say, these are all the nigga houses. We're going to put them with neighborhoods, blah, 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 blah. We just went over the zoning shit. Like how is this going to happen? Because the economic market dictates where people live. Anyway, so to basically safeguard against, any market action, he wants to protect tenants, untrustworthy tenants. I'm not even gonna say untrustworthy. I'm just gonna say he wants to protect tenants by the renters by giving them legal assistance, free legal assistance to prevent evictions. So basically he's giving potentially shit tenants free legal assistance to stay in your house when they can't afford it. This is amazing. So you have to understand. So these are Biden's policies, by the way. And I'm being even because this is the information that's out about both sides' policies. These is the policies that are on the books. He's basically going to build 100. Okay, so first of all, he's going to force untrustworthy renters into houses. Then he's going to refund $15,000 worth of money when the first time you buy a house. Then he's going to build $100 billion with a B, $100 billion houses, $100 billion in housing. I don't know what neighborhood, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like strategically placed in neighborhoods where, Black people are concentrated. So you build $100 billion. I don't even think it's going to be concentrated where Black people are. I think this is more of like a general thing. So $100 billion worth of houses. And then on top of the $100 billion in housing, affordable housing, you provide the tenants, the renters of those houses with lawyers that are specifically there to prevent you from getting kicked the fuck out when you eventually default on rent because they know you're not going to pay that shit over time. Not only that, but here's the fucked up part. Like, think about that for a second. When you have to say, we have to get lawyers that are specifically targeting landlords for the purpose of keeping people in those houses. So like you a landlord and you basically people just live in your fucking houses. Now, again, let's go over the important part. If you're a man, this is not going to apply to you. I'll repeat that. If you are a man, none of this shit is going to apply to you. All of this getting lawyers for tenants and shit, getting lawyers for these renters, this is for women. This is not for men. You are not going to benefit from this shit. You think they're going to build men $100 billion in houses? Fuck no. You're not gonna build. No, you get your own fucking house. Especially Black men. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, if you've been listening to the comparisons of the two plans, I would rather just have the ability to get housing, without having to go through government. Because look at people, okay, because we already have real life examples of people on Fannie and Freddie Mae loans. Like they're fucked. So I would rather have the ability to, if I can't pay my rent anymore, if I can't pay my mortgage anymore, if I can't pay my rent or mortgage anymore, and I get kicked out, okay, I just want to take that L and start over. I don't want to get kicked out and still have to pay the government forever. And then when I can't pay, they go after my kids. Wow. Anyway, Yeah, exactly, New. This is why when I brought up the changing your gender on paper and people were like losing their shit, this is why. So if you want to win, this is how you win. You change your gender on paper, you get all of these benefits because right now it's just going to be for women and the L-gibbets, women in the L-gibbets, women in the rainbow. So anyway, we'll just keep going. Think about this is fucking crazy. Lawyers that are just there to, it's called Legal Assistance to Prevent Evictions Act. Holy shit. The LAPEA, the labia. If you switch that P to a B, it's labia. Labia. I guess lapia is the rainbow version. It's the rainbow version of labia. All right, I quit. I quit. I quit. Okay, so the other thing is the on Biden's policy is to grant housing vouchers to every eligible family so that they don't have to pay more than 30% of their income for rentals. Wow. So if your rent goes over 30% of your income, they just subsidize you, which again is more welfare, which again I have to remind you that men are not going to have this option. You are not going to get subsidized. So here's all of these protections, right? I don't even know how you get kicked out of your house if they subsidizing you in the first place. If you spending subsidy money, then you don't need to be in the house. If you get legal assistance to prevent you from even getting kicked out in the first fucking place, and then on top of that, you get voucher money to cover what you can't pay. Holy shit. You know what this is in a nutshell? Free houses for bitches. You know what this is? You know what plan this is? I hope somebody says it. Okay, let's 10 seconds. Who can guess what this plan is? One of our favorite people in the manosphere has been saying this shit since the beginning of the year, like probably before. So I'll count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bunk beds, nigga. That's what this plan is. Somebody gotta go get MOT. Yeah, so that is what this plan is. The Dems plans is bunk beds, nigga, because they giving bitches free cribs. This is amazing. This is fucking amazing. Free cribs. Free cribs. This is literally MOT's plan. This is bunk beds, nigga. The only difference is it's bunk beds bitches because men are not getting this. Now, all of the Madden Kings can go to the bunk bed bitches house. They can go because it's essentially is bunk beds niggas because the bunk bed niggas are the Madden Kings, so they're going to be with the bunk bed bitches. Like they get free cribs. This is MOT's plan. This is amazing. So Biden is basically giving bitches free houses if he gets elected. Do you understand? Like this is where we're going. Like the fancy wording. This is hilarious. Yeah. MOT been going in on fucking black conservatives because they just started, they were never black. They don't even know. Half these motherfuckers don't even know the differences between these policies I'm going over. I'm just going over the differences between their policies. So anyway, free houses for bitches. So in general, the family's income may not exceed 50% of the median income of their country in the metro area in order for them to qualify. So a lot of bitches are going to qualify. This is amazing. Free houses for bitches. That is Democratic policy. Holy shit. Wowzers. Anyway, to finish off more of the major economic shit, was going into like healthcare, right? So Trump still doesn't have a way to end the Affordable Health Care Act because he doesn't have a plan of his own. This is the only part where I'm just like, he should just leave that shit alone. It's already here. It's too late. Just let it happen. This is an L. Just let that shit happen because you can't repeal it at this point. You're going to spend more money trying to repeal it than you will trying to work with it. So just let it happen. So he was working on an executive order that would require health insurers to cover pre-existing conditions. Okay. Which, I understand it, because here's the thing. Every government has baseline welfare for their citizens. And it should be that way. I'm not against welfare. I'm against abuse of welfare, but I'm not against welfare. Like every country should have it, and every country does have it. You need baseline protection for your citizens. You do. You really do. So pre-existing conditions, I don't even consider that welfare. People live and they die. Like they're fucking teenagers with pre-existing conditions. What are you gonna do about that? Some people are born with birth defects and shit. You can't do anything about that. So pre-existing conditions, yes, there should be exclusions for that. You know, because again, if you're gonna do baseline welfare, then just cover everybody equally. You know, fuck it. Money goes in the insurance pot. Whoever gets sick, you take care of them. That's how that works. And I think that's what that executive order was basically saying. Just cover every fucking body equally. All of this bullshit. So basically, insurance companies will be banned or barred, not banned. Insurance companies will be barred from denying coverage to people with pre-existing conditions under the Affordable Health Care Act. So that would be a pretty good thing to do. However, Trump did try to implement some work requirements for Medicaid, but that shit didn't go over. No one wants to work, so that shit is not gonna fly. Because what happens is when you force people to work for it, they can get around it by disability type shit, disability laws and stuff like that. But one thing he did end was an Obama era regulation that prevented discrimination in healthcare against transgender patients. He's basically saying, if you want to get your dick cut off, that is not a medical right. Because here's the thing. Now, on the surface, that looks discriminatory, right? On the surface, let's just look at that on the surface. It looks discriminatory. You saying, I'm transgender and I can't get the healthcare I want. This is bullshit. But what he's doing is he's basically saying a 13-year-old kid or a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old boy coming to a doctor's office with his parents does not have the fucking mental capacity to say whether or not he wants to get his dick cut off. He might turn 18, 19 years old and then be like, why did I do that? And then he kills himself. You know what happens? They actually do that. There's stats out there on the statistics of people, of transgenders who cut their shit off, and then when they grew up, they killed themselves. So on the surface, it looks discriminatory. You look a little bit in there, and it's in there. If you look a little bit closer, it's basically he ended that regulation because you can't have people out here committing suicide because they cut their dick off when they was 12 years old. That's what that was. Trump did that because the suicide numbers were high as fuck. Yeah, like 40-some%. So you can't have people doing this shit. So that's all that was. So again, you look at it on the surface, it does look discriminatory. It looks like he's against the rainbow. Maybe he is, who cares? But the thing is, you just can't do that shit. Men are out here getting fucking effeminized from the time they hit preschool, and then by the time they're in fucking second grade, they think they want to be a girl, and then they turn 18, 19 and like, wait, I like bitches. And now it's too late. Now it's too late. I like bitches. It's too late now. You can cut that shit off. And then they go, what am I? What did I do? Like you wake up one day, what the fuck did I do? Maybe they stop taking those drugs that changes their brain chemistry and shit. Like whatever the fucking reason, the suicide rate went high as shit because all these transgenders dudes was killing themselves. So yeah, he ended that shit because you should not be given free money to cut your shit off. He basically said what you want to do is a choice, so you fuck off. You're not going to have a requirement. He also signed an executive order that will require hospitals to tell the money that they get from insurance companies. which is awesome. He basically forced the hospitals to be like, so the insurance companies pay us this much. And the reason why is because hospitals were doing shit like giving people medicine and sending them home. You know, you ever seen people like when they say, man, just gave me pills and then send me on my way? Like that's why. Because insurance companies be like, look, man, well, these fucking expensive ass surgeries is wiping us out, man. Just get these motherfuckers some pills and send them home. Goddamn. And then the insurance companies be like, we'll just give y'all some money and then y'all just fucking stop doing these, surgeries and then tapping the shit out of us for like insurance money. It's cheaper for the insurance companies to just throw the hospital some millions and then not have to pay. Think about it. A bunch of people getting these really expensive surgeries, then they kind of like, you can break the insurance companies. So they're like, here. And so, they pay the hospitals off to just give people drugs and move on, and the pharmaceutical companies are in on that shit too. All those commercials, get this drug. It's not gonna cause anything until the end of the commercial where they tell you it causes rambunctious shitting and vomiting and head bigness and all this other shit. At the end of the commercial, really really fast, and what was like verbal fine print where they just start talking real fast and low and tell you everything that could fucking possibly happen to you, may result in death. Then you just kind of slip that shit in and then the commercial go off. So I'm watching one right now. It's called Skyrizi. Prescription only. See, this is shit I'm talking about. I'm actually watching this in action. So Trump basically is trying to end that shit where we just, you get medicine and get told to go the fuck home. And then we look at one of Biden's main priorities is to protect the ACA, the Affordable Health Care Act. His plans include, he wants to give Americans a government-run health insurance option like Medicare. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier. You basically have private companies, but then you have a government company that's just like the private company. Because right now, federal programs like Medicare are only available to certain groups, like, it's Social Security medicine. It's like once you retire, then you get Medicare. So he wants to have a government-run option but for people under 65. So basically more welfare. You see the trend line here with the Democratic side, just more and more welfare. You just keep getting more and more free shit. Where who gonna pay for free shit? No, it doesn't matter. Just get us fucking money. Let's do this shit. We gotta do this. Okay. Another thing is, so think about what I just said. You want to give Medicare to people under 65. Okay. Then that's gonna come out of your taxes, by the way. Lower the limit on healthcare costs. If your income is 8.5. So the healthcare coverage, so he wants to lower the limit on the cost of healthcare coverage from 9.8% from like 10% of your income to like 8.5% of your income. So more welfare, basically. So it's not even going to come out of your taxes. Holy shit, it's free. Not only that, goddamn, it's even going to lower your taxes. That's awesome. All right, more welfare. So they want to repeal the law that prevents Medicare from negotiating lower prices with drug corporations. Because again, if you're on Medicare, because you're on government medicine, so you don't have to pay the same prices as private insurance companies do for drugs. All they do is they go, we're the government, we get this price, or we get this price, or we take your patent. You either give us this price or we take your patent. And the reason why Biden wants to repeal that law that prevents negotiation is because what it does is it helps people in retirement age get hold of more Viagra. For free. Come on, what's the best-selling drug in the United States? Let's see if somebody knows this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The best-selling drug in America is Viagra. So, oh shit. What do men do when they're too busy hunting for pussy? They don't care about welfare that women get. So it's funny how this shit works, right? It's just funny, like when you read, like, so like if you listen to me read this shit, it's funny how when you're looking at it on the surface, it looks completely different than what it is on the inside. What it is the best-selling drug is fucking Viagra. So if you lower these, if you get Medicare back in the game to just get free drugs, what's the drug everyone's gonna want for free? Aside from fucking, I don't know, those psychological drugs that make you happy and shit, like Viagra. Some motherfuckers is doing, people don't give a fuck about Paxil when they can get some V's and go smash hookers and shit and young escorts. Don't give a fuck. Anyway. They also, so Biden does want to end the surprise billing, which, yeah. You want to do that shit because that's some bullshit. And that happens when you are not aware that you're receiving healthcare from an out-of-network provider. Like, let's just say you got a healthcare plan where you're on Blue Cross Blue Shield, but let's just say you travel for work and you're in a state that has like I don't know, Alina Healthcare or whatever the fuck, and you go to Alina Healthcare and they're an out-of-network provider, but that out-of-network provider sees that you fuck with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and what they start doing is just throwing ticky-tack fees at you because you're not in their network and you don't know what the fuck they're charging you for. Because insurance is paying for it, it's just, you know, free money for them. So Biden's putting an end to that, which is good because the patient doesn't have control over the provider if he's out of state and stuff like that. Now out of network providers will take advantage of that shit. So Biden has backed away. He's like, no Medicare for everybody, because that was crazy because the cost. He simply said that it just costs too fucking much. There's no way. Now you give away all that welfare, but the Medicare is too expensive. And he's right. Medicare for all would bankrupt the fucking United States. Like, you can't do that shit. You can't do that. However, he does want to open up Medicare as like a government-run health insurance. Now, that's different than just Medicare for all. That's more like, again, what I was talking about earlier, the government becomes a healthcare provider, which you have to pay for. Of course, it's going to be lower. The cost is going to be lower than other healthcare providers, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be, it's not Medicare for all because it's not free. Let's put it that way. It's Medicare for people under 65, but you pay for it if you're under 65. Like you actually treat the government just like a private medical insurance company. That's all you do. And that's the simplest way to look at that. The government becomes another option for you to get healthcare. That's all it is. So anyway, he's against that Medicare for all shit. So now that has actually made the Democrats actually kind of look sideways at Biden. But how the fuck do you even justify that? There's no way he's going to be able to get away with that and get elected. Can't. Now he is pushing for a public option to the ACA. And it's more like, let's just say quasi Medicare. So discounted to the point where it might as well be free. Think of voucher. Think of getting vouchers, welfare vouchers for your Medicare, and that's pretty much the same thing. But again, they try to mask it under the economic part of it. Now, I agree with Biden's shit on where it's just like, if the government is a healthcare provider that you pay for, now it's lower, but you pay for it. You still pay for it. Let's just say you qualify, right? You broke a shit and you qualify for it. That's great. Why not? Like, if you're poor, you do need a fucking healthcare option. You shouldn't be left out to die just because you don't make, $100,000 and shit. I mean, what the fuck? Like that's crazy. Like leaving citizens to die just because they don't make, all that money and shit. Like if you somebody that works at McDonald's part-time and you need healthcare, there will be an option for you through the government, through whatever. And that'd be a good option. You just won't have like whatever mutual and shit. So what? So that I think that's fair. So I mean, Biden actually has some points on that shit. So I totally agree with that shit. That's great. So I'm gonna look at they have policies on climate change before I get to the last thing, which I know these fucking pro-black niggas love, racial inequality. I don't know why it's even an issue. No one cares about it. It's all about the economy this year. So climate change, Biden, you know how the Democrats are about climate change. They all for that shit. They like, you know, I mean, they're actually using COVID to push their case, and COVID actually has made a strong case for this climate change shit. I'm telling you, any motherfucker who's denying climate change at this point, I don't know what fuck's wrong with you, because fish came back into the fucking Venice in Italy. There hasn't been fish in Venice, Italy for centuries. And the motherfuckers, they have fish. The water changed color. The water's clean. That's crazy. That's crazy. I also heard in other countries where animals have actually been able to repopulate, and the ecosystem got back to normal because predators and prey, all that whole relationship ecosystem between animals got back right without human interference, which is awesome. People haven't been poaching endangered animals and all that other shit. So there was benefits to people getting locked in the crib on that COVID shit, and the climate was one of them. The air quality got cleaner in the entire world. Air quality got better. So, I mean, yeah, there's been benefits. But anyway, let's look at they policies on the climate change shit. So Biden wants to do $2 trillion to combat climate change and invest in clean energy. Now, the goal is to get net zero emissions by 2050. 2050, that's doable. I mean, I think it's doable, especially if the solar and wind stuff matures, because technology needs to mature. I know people like to shit on technology when it's young and say, hey, if you need like 1 billion solar panels. And then if you look at the solar panels we got now, you could go buy a solar panel and just live off the fucking grid forever. You get a solar panel and a fuel cell. There's this company called Bloom. They make fuel cells. Google has tons of them, and they put them in their data centers. The fuel cells cut their electricity, like, I forgot, on the order of like 60% or some shit. Apple has them too. So imagine you have one of those fuel cells from Bloom, because you're a residential person. You're a residential person with a fuel cell and a fucking solar panel, those high density solar panels, right? So imagine if it was cost effective. You could have your own electricity. And you know what happens when you have your own electricity? You could sell it back to the city you live in. Isn't that amazing? If citizens could have their own shit, they could sell electricity back to the city, and then the city could power itself and even power welfare energy. You as a citizen could decide whether or not to sell your energy to the city for what. You could give energy, you could give welfare energy, charity. You could give charity energy back to the city. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, so in my neighborhood, I give energy back. I got Excel Energy in Minneapolis. I give energy back when I don't use a lot. I have extra, and they say, and I'm on a program that says if I don't use this much energy by the end of the month, it goes back to the city, and they pay me for it. Now it's discounted, but they pay me for it. So my electricity bill, it's not a lower bill. What I get back is what I use, and I get charged for it. And then what I don't get charged, they refund me. So I get money back for that. So anyway, but what I do is on my bill, electronic bill, I go in and I opt to just post it towards my next bill. It's insignificant. It's like dollars at most. So anyway, He wants to do the long-term shit. So he wants to provide American cities with that has 100,000 or more people with zero emissions public transportation options like light rail and infrastructure for pedestrians and for bicycles and shit. So everybody's going to be either riding around on bicycles or segways or on light rails or on buses that run on electric buses, which again is dope. If your public transportation did not use gas anymore, that's awesome. All of those buses no longer using gas. All of those railways they don't use gas anyway. It's all electric. And then like people getting around the city on bikes and shit. Like just imagine you pay a nickel, you just go put a nickel in a bike, because we have those rental bikes like in our cities and shit here in Minneapolis. They have rental bikes. You can go anywhere and damn near anywhere downtown. Put a nickel or I don't know how much it costs. It's like they got credit card readers. So you put a credit card in there and you say, I want to rent this bike until tomorrow. And then you just leave with it. And then you go and anywhere they have another bike station, you can put it there. Like, so if you got a bike station in your neighborhood, you just go park it, hop off that bitch, put it in there, and then you get a receipt and you walk away. So this is all Biden stuff. He wants to do all of that stuff like that Portland, Oregon shit. You in Portland, Oregon, you're gonna see a lot of that. Their public transportation is fucking second to none. He wants to upgrade 4 million buildings and weatherize 2 million homes for energy efficiency. So it'd be like a thing where if your home was appraised or whatever, they could come look at how energy efficient your home is, and if it don't meet the bar, they just come in and do it, and then boom, you are now in an energy efficient house. And again, it would go to that thing where you could sell energy back to the city, like I do. He wants to create 1.5 million sustainable homes and housing units. So apartment buildings will probably benefit from this the most. Apartment buildings becoming energy efficient to the degree where they could, because there was this company I used to work for called Telconet. One of their bread and butter was running Ethernet over the power lines, but they had another bread and butter technology, which was automating the temperature in hospitals and office buildings and shit like that. So what would happen is you'd have a thermostat that was connected to a thermostat server, and that thermostat server would regulate the entire building, each room, everything. It would detect if a person was in there. If you put it on a timer to say, I get back at 8 o'clock and I want it to be 72 when I walk through the door, around 6:45, or did I say 7 or 8? Anyway, around 6:45, 15 minutes before you come in, it'll start warming up the room. By the time you get into the room, it'll be 72 degrees. And then when it's 72 degrees, it would basically regulate the temperature. Even if you fuck with it, it would tell you like optimal temp is this, but if you want it up higher, you just push like a confirmation boom and it will go up to 80, whatever the fuck you want. But for the most part, it would be the most the most energy efficient system. And then he wants to do this climate smart shit, like which would be getting coal, hard rock, and uranium mines back into circulation. Which, I mean, I get it. You're basically trying to pull a Trump and say, we'll get these old jobs back, but it's not really getting those old jobs back, because it's not going to be mining for new shit. It's just going to be whatever is there now. It's going to use it. It's going to use it. So Biden also said he wants to get the Paris Climate Agreement back on the table, because the United States jumped out of that shit because Trump was like, fuck that. Under that agreement, 200 countries have pledged to reduce carbon emissions. So anyway, the effects of climate change, that I can't really disagree with Biden's plan. I think there's a lot of welfare involved, but it's one of those things where if not for that welfare, where you gonna live? Ain't no more planets. Can you find another planet out there? You got a fucking a telescope that can find us a new planet to go live on? Because if you do, then show us that shit so we can move there, and then we won't have to give a fuck about climate change. So anyway, you only got one planet. And anyway, we seen wildfires and shit and all the stuff that's happening. it's just one of those things where you kind of have to, you gotta look at this shit as like a planetary thing. I do, because on the Republican side, they do have this fucking mentality of someone's gonna figure it out. Like that someone's gonna figure it out shit is crazy to me. I don't even understand why someone would take that position. But anyway, let's look at Trump's side. He called climate change a hoax, despite universal consensus from every fucking scientific community on the planet that people are causing global warming, and we are. I mean, proof of that is, I mean, look at the COVID shit. As soon as people got locked in their houses, the fucking water cleaned up all over the world. I mean, come on. If we're not doing it, get the fuck out of here. We are. Trump doesn't have a solution to climate crisis because they don't believe in it. That's the problem. So it's funny to me. Sometimes I know these people are smart. Okay, I know this. I know these people are smart. I'm not saying they're not smart. I know they are. I understand this, but it's so funny to me when people say that wildfires is reverse global warming. or and all this other shit. It's funny to me. That's hilarious to me. Anyway, or saying that global warming is the opposite of. I forgot what it was, but I remember the Republicans taking this stance that global warming meant that anything that happened on the cooling side was not global warming. So that's why the nomenclature was changed from global warming to climate change, because you couldn't say global warming because they related warming to just anything, like, you know, like the fires and shit. And if you said the polar ice caps and all this other shit, or if you said this ice storm was particularly blah blah blah, you're like, well, that's not global warming, that's global freezing. Anyway, so Trump shit on climate change is kind of ridiculous. This is why I think COVID actually helped Republicans actually see the light, because when Trump got in office, that motherfucker rolled back like over 100 environmental regulations. He was like, oil companies and gas companies no longer even have to report methane emissions. He lifted a ban on drilling in the Arctic, in the fucking wildlife refuge, in the wildlife refuge. He actually weakened automobile and fuel efficiency because we were actually getting better with making automobiles more fuel efficient. He was like, yeah, you ain't got to do that shit no more. That's fucking crazy. And what happened, the result of that is we ended up having 100 billion more metric tons of carbon dioxide shot into the atmosphere. Now, a good response to that would be to strategically put forests all over the place. You know, I've actually heard MIT people even talking about that. Is a very simple, almost preschool solution to this, right? Like, think about it. Just place forests everywhere, because you know who breathes carbon dioxide? Trees and plants. So how do you solve that problem of all the carbon dioxide being shot up? Just put the things on the planet that breathe it in. Because there was much more. Think about it. Before humans tamed the forest to make cities, there were way more plants and trees than there is now. Like, think about the city that you live in. Think about the city that you live in right now. That was once all forest. Think about that. Have you ever commuted to work before? Think about the fact that used to be all forest, all of it. That entire commute you did to work was all fucking forest. So if you strategically place, you know, forestry everywhere, then you'd have a very elegant solution to carbon dioxide emissions, which, again, people way smarter than me have already figured this out. And it's a preschool ass solution. It's one of those solutions where you go, why the fuck didn't I think it? Or you go, why the fuck didn't anybody think of this sooner? Right? Like when they came up with it, it's like, what the fuck? It took MIT people to figure this out? Just put trees everywhere to breathe in the carbon dioxide and make more oxygen? That's amazing. Who'd have thunk it, right? What the fuck? Anyway, again, bigger brains have thought about this shit and came up with a very simple solution that no one thought about, or maybe someone thought about and didn't give a fuck about. So those are their two policies on that. And I think Biden has Trump beat on the climate change issue. Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, it's fucking amazing how such a preschool ass solution gets overlooked by everyone. Just put trees up. They breathe carbon dioxide and give us oxygen. What the fuck? Unless you can come up with a synthetic way to transform carbon dioxide into oxygen. I mean, I know we're working on it, but we haven't solved the mystery of photosynthesis. So if we can't solve that mystery, then let the trees do it, because they know how to do it naturally. So let trees do their job. Unless we come up with photosynthesis. Anyway. So we'll go to the last thing, I guess, which is the fuckery part. Racism, racial inequality. So Biden calls for economic reparations for ADOS. He wants to give reparations to ADOS. All the Democrats actually agree with reparations for ADOS. And this is why the Democrats are really getting the nigga vote right now. I know y'all seen this shit in the manosphere. That reparations shit is big. Motherfuckers want that reparation money to do what? Man, I'm gonna have all the J's, all of them, all year. The House of Representatives, they wanted to establish a federal commission that would create a proposal and a remedy plan. And Biden endorsed it. They actually serious as fuck about reparations. You know what? You know what's funny? Out of all the reparations talk, you haven't heard anybody talk about the House of Representatives actually going, yeah, let's do this shit, right? Who have you heard talking about that? Maybe BGS. He's probably the only one. And then even when he says it, people just ignore what the fuck he said and then just go like, you know, I'm gonna get that check. They don't think about the policy part of it. They just think about the money part. So when I don't really want to invoke him like that, but I mean, he did actually bring this shit up a long time ago. So I do got to give BGS his credit. He did talk about this shit. The House of Representatives, this is like a legal body of the government that passes laws. They were like, yo, let's get this shit on the federal. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do it. If we're going to do it, let's do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's do it. So, and Biden endorsed it. And to be honest with you, Biden is the only candidate that really is going full steam on that shit, on that reparation shit, because other candidates didn't want to touch it because, you know, he's like, you can give all these niggas you don't give all these niggas this money? Biden like, fuck it, I want the nigga vote. Now here's the funny part. Trump almost eclipsed that move back in 2016 when he said, I'm going to go after child support reform. Trump almost got the nigga vote single-handedly from that. They did a test run of child support reform in Chicago back in 2016. That almost took the Democrats' head off ASAP. That's why they really started coming at Trump's head, because when he decided to go after child support, and you got to understand that Social Security gets a 65% kickback for child support. So this is why child support gets enforced so hard by the government, because it's free money to the government, and they don't really give a fuck about you. They want that money. They want their money. So yeah, they're gonna come after your ass. They don't give a fuck if it's $1. They want that 65 cents out of that dollar. So anyway, even with the ADO shit, even with the reparations ADO shit, Trump still almost shut their ass down because of the child support shit, because he almost got the nigga vote off child support. So anyway, to keep going with Biden's policies, like, so I'll be fair, Biden didn't say, I'm for reparations. He's supporting everything that is in favor of reparations. And you're saying it without saying it. I mean, you're saying it without saying it. Now, the problem with the race shit is that anything short of reparations is gonna result in anger. So if the Dems don't produce that money, it's gonna be some problems. Niggas is gonna be mad as shit. and they are not going to get voted in 2024. So all the people who think that Kanye has a legit chance to be president by running Republican, he actually does. Because if niggas don't get that money, if the Dems get in office and niggas don't get that reparations money, they only gonna do one term. They're gonna have one term to fuck the country up. And that's probably all they need. I mean, we already damn near communists. I mean, all they need is one more motherfucker in office and we there. We done. So he basically, if we look at more racism shit, in 2016, white families had an average wealth of $171,000 compared to the average wealth of black families of $17,000. So let me repeat that. Holy fucking shit. Average white family in 2016, $171,000. Average black family in 2016, $17,000. Oh my fuck. You know how big a gap that is? Monetarily, financially, however the fuck you want to say it. That is crazy. 171,000 to 17. God damn. And so does it become clear why the Democrats want to give away so much welfare, like housing and shit? Like, is it clear now? So that's, if we're going to look at racial inequality, holy shit. So, and this is according to the Federal Reserve Board. Now, there's a 30 percentage point gap between black and white home ownership. Fuck. According to the Urban Institute. Holy shit. Yo, this fucking gap between white and black people's family wealth is insane. So wealth in the country is skewed towards a relatively small number of wealthy, mostly white people. So Biden aims at economic mobility to people of color. So his initiatives include, he wants to give $100 billion in low interest loans to fund state, local, tribal, nonprofit, but whatever the fuck, communities of color. He basically wants to give $100 billion to niggas. And he wants to give $50 billion to black entrepreneurs. $50 billion to black entrepreneurs, people of color, entrepreneurs of color in economically disadvantaged areas. So if we use their fancy words, we're just going to say this is $50 billion to niggas. This is nigga money. Also, $70 billion to HBCUs. I don't give a fuck about HBCUs. I don't want to get them. I don't want to give colleges shit, HBCU or not. I don't give a fuck. But man, you know what's fucked up? I'm stuck on this wealth gap. God damn. Yo, think about 171,000 to 17. Shit. Woo. Anyway, $50 billion. Look, $50 billion to black entrepreneurs. If Biden gets in office, y'all might as well take advantage of that money. Do what Ramil said and just get a fucking LLC. I don't give a fuck if you don't even have a product. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just open an LLC. I don't give a fuck if it's an LLC where you sell hair strands. I don't give a fuck if it's an LLC where you sell broken crayons. Let's just say you got a company where you melt crayons together and you call the color fucking tie-dyes. You can call your crayon company tie-dyes. And all you do is you melt crayons together and you make new crayons. And all the crayons are just fucking recycled from all the colors, because you ain't got time to be goddamn trying to figure out. Kindergartners don't care. You can sell tie-dye crayons to people who just learn how to fucking write. Like, you know, just here, color in the lines. You know, just start an LLC. It doesn't matter what the product is. Just start an LLC, okay? So you can get your hands on that 50 billion. if Biden gets into office, go after that money. Go after that money. Oh shit. Anyway, also 100 billion of low interest loans. I mean, go after that too. If you can get it, why not? Go after that too. If you go into an HBCU, that means that your tuition is probably going to be low as shit. That means women are going to go to school for free. So you know what? Let's keep that in mind, okay? Because none of this shit that Biden's putting forth on the racial inequality angle is new. Bernie Sanders, anyone. So a lot of this shit is Bernie shit. So that money is not going to go to men. Men are not going to get this money, okay? It's not gonna. You as a man, you're not getting this money. This is women's money. However, that 50 billion to entrepreneurs, that shit is up for grabs. Now, if women decide that they want to go into open companies and do the same shit men doing, they're gonna get first dibs on that money. Dead ass. Women entrepreneurs are gonna get first dibs on that money. That's just how that's gonna go. So that is Biden's racial inequality policies. If he gets elected, basically more welfare. That ADOS, that economic reparations for ADOS is on the fucking table for real in real life. And again, the only other person that I heard talk about like it going all the way up to the House of Representatives, who, like I said, they want to actually put this shit on the table for real. The only other person I heard talking about that was BGS. Now, Trump's policy, because I have to be fair about it, his shit on the racial inequality side is he shut down reparations. That motherfucker said, he did an interview and was like, I don't see it happening. No, it's not going to happen. That is Trump's stance on reparations. That nigga like, no, that is too much welfare money. We already owe too much. No. That alone, the nigga vote might go to the Democrats because of that. Now, here's the thing. On the surface, again, every time I say this, you have to look a little bit deeper than the surface. On the surface, just like with the housing shit, it looks racist or discriminatory. But if you look a little bit deeper, what he wants to do is put Black people in a different position to take advantage of the low unemployment rate and shit. So basically, the unemployment rate went down to like 3.7% or some shit when Trump, during his first year, and it was pre-COVID, it was going down. You can't deny that. It went up after COVID. It actually was going up a little bit before COVID because shit was starting to hit the fan with real estate, not with real estate, but with well, I'll say commercial real estate, and then that shit kind of trickles down. There's a lot of factors, but unemployment started to go up. Now, and this was in 2018, so a couple years ago. But he had got that shit down to 3.7%. So the money, the reparations money, this is what he's trying to do. So I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about before with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right? So he gave a flat 10%. He cut taxes 10% to people just with regular jobs. And that was to basically to keep you from going broke at the end of the year. Basically, keep you from going broke at the end of the year. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these fucking holidays, and did all of that. And then your tax money goes to like paying all your fucking debt back, and then you start over at the beginning of the year and do it all again. So that 10% tax was to do that, and it was to basically, let's look at it this way, right? So you got business, then you got people. So yeah, he lowered the tax rate for businesses, but then he lowered the tax rate for people. So people get a 10% tax cut. Business gets what was it? 16% or something like that. Let me go back up here. The tax rate. Business tax rate was corporate tax rate was like 14%. And the richest people got cut by 2.5%, and companies got cut by 14%. So companies got cut by 14% because remember when we looked in the other section, the reason why the companies got cut by so much is because it was like, I'm going to cut your taxes 14%. You give jobs or we're not going to give you any fucking money. So it's basically the Trump administration saying, give people jobs or we're going to cut your fucking water off. That's what that was for. So this is why I have to go back and forth through these different policies, because people don't understand that these policies intermingle with each other. So anyway, when you look at how this shit works, so 10% cuts for people in the middle class and lower, and then rich people only get cut by 2%. And then companies get cut by the largest because they're the ones who actually give jobs. And just imagine if you own a company and your taxes get cut, like you a black person that owns a company, you want to hire other black people. Let's just say you own that company called Tie Dyes. You selling those fucking recycled crayons, right? And you want to hire more employees. Well, you can now because your taxes got cut by 14 fucking %. You can afford to hire people now. And then the people that you hired, their taxes got cut by 10%. And they paycheck. Win-win for everybody. See, this is why when people look at this shit, it's important to actually look under the surface of what people say, because with the racism shit will have people climbing walls and losing their fucking mind. So anyway, that's an aside. So Trump still is a racist motherfucker. I'm not finna, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. Trump still is an alleged racist motherfucker. I'm not gonna say he is. That's slander. Alleged. So the economic policy on the racial inequality side is basically Trump trying to equalize to get American citizens. He doesn't give a fuck about when it comes to money, he doesn't care about the race. He just wants to make money and wants the country to make money. So it's basically all his policies have been on some, let's get these motherfuckers working so we get some money on the bottom line shit. So Economic Policy Institute. So basically said, we look at people on the same level of education. We typically find that Black unemployment rate is close to, if not higher than, double the white unemployment rate. So Black people are unemployed at double the rate of white people. So the unemployment rate is at 6.8%. For Black people, it's 12%. 12%. That is what Trump is trying to fix with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The TCJ, whatever the fuck you want, initial, I don't care what you do. All it is for dude is if we can get these motherfuckers in the job force, we can get taxes. Even if the 10%, the tax has been cut by 10%, but the point is the more people work, the more tax money goes into the pot. That's what you got to understand. More people work, more taxes get collected. The more people work, the more taxes get collected. That's the point. So he doesn't care, just wants to get people working. So this is why he's trying to get these opportunity zones going. So Trump's thing is, I don't want to give you welfare, I want to give you jobs. Biden's thing is, I want to give you welfare. I want to give you welfare money, and then if you come up off of it, cool. It's more attractive to take the welfare money. I'm just going to be honest. So that's where the racism shit gets thrown around on Trump's side of the fence. Now again, I don't know if I would think he is, because we've seen him say some racist shit. So I'm just gonna say alleged, because I don't want to get hit in the fucking face, have some fucking people show up in black suits at my door. But I'll just say alleged. The thing is, whatever happens to white people happens to black people doubly. And I mentioned this when I was talking about that executive order a few weeks ago, where it goes white men and then black dudes get hit hard as fuck with it. White men, then black dudes get hit hard as fuck with it. That's how it works. White men, then black men get hit hard as fuck. That's all you got to know. If white men get hit with it, black dudes are going to get hit harder with it. So if you look at the unemployment rate and you see it's at like 7%, which is extraordinarily high, black men are they double that for black men, double it. This is why when you look at that family disparity, of 171,000 to 17, those numbers make sense. If black men are unemployed at double the rate of white men, then those numbers make sense. 171,000 to 17. You can't take care of a family on 17,000 fucking dollars. You can't. This is a family average. This isn't an individual average. So this is family money. 171,000 to 17. You cannot take care of a family on that. You can't fucking do it. Could you? You barely do it in a third world country. So again, if the unemployment rate is 6%, it's 12% for black people. If it's 6.8%, which it is now, it's 14% for black people, because that's how that shit works. So that's pretty much it for the two candidates as far as policy goes. So when people are talking about policy, they got to keep in mind, this is what their policies are. This comes from their policies. It comes from them, their people, their offices, their administrations. This is their policies on all of this shit. So, and as far as like the racial inequality stuff, these are just proposals. Everything else, housing, student loans, taxes, COVID-19 response, the climate change shit, healthcare, all of those are, you can go to like whitehouse.gov. Shit, I gotta change that link. Washington Post, BBC, Forbes, Politico, all of these sites have all this information to dig through and find. There was a bunch of sources, and like I said, I had to clip all the stuff that the administrations were doing on either side, because they don't really have a place to do a fair comparison. You just got to grab the information and then compare and put it side by side in like an Excel spreadsheet or some shit. So this is their shit. I guess that's it for what their policies are. If anybody wants to talk for a second, I mean, I'll open it up for a minute. I have not been on for a couple of days, so I don't really know what the fuck's been going on. I saw the video titles, but I didn't engage. I was gonna watch MOTs, but it was a couple hours and I was sleepy, fucking working. But yeah, all that free money for women, man. Free money for bitches. Free money for bitches. Yeah, I saw her. Ice Cube got in trouble for like endorsing Trump or some shit. I was like, I gotta go find out about that, because I haven't really jumped into it. I don't really fuck with the celebrities and shit. But yeah, man, for free money for bitches. Well, I do got two people. My bad. I'm the worst host ever. I thought it was Aegon, but it's me. All right, what's up, Eisen? Yeah, Ice Cube got in trouble. I gotta go look that shit up and see what happened.
My bad. I didn't realize I was muted. But yeah, what's good, man? I think one of the important things you pointed out was how a lot of these people don't even realize that. I mean, they just vote for party. They don't even look at the policy. They haven't even done anything to, try and see how, they line up, with, party or I guess political aspects on how, on what they actually view on certain policies at all. They just don't even look at any of that. They just go and vote for a damn party, not even looking or even trying to understand some of the policies.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I've been seeing around the, especially around the manosphere. When I saw all of that hood conservative shit, I was waiting on somebody to really like go over both sides policy, but you never see it. It's always like one side or the other. Like people got their side, and then they just go, yeah, fuck that, because y'all are not doing this or that, and blah blah blah. I'm like, Okay, so why don't anybody go get the policy outlines and then
Exactly.
go over that, go over the policy outline.
You know, I actually even took a, outline, I guess not an outline, but a test, for certain policies that were coming up. And, I'll admit that most of mine, I was probably more conservative or libertarian on. And then, I had a few that, that's probably a little bit, I won't say liberal, but more leaning towards agreement with some aspects, a few aspects on Democratic side, but depending on, with certain stipulations of certain stuff. But, for the most part, I think, I'm about, most of the time pretty much for personal choice on a lot of it, that for the most part, except for, I guess a few rare occasions, but, I did it myself that way I could learn exactly where I lined up and who I needed to, kind of vote for and look at.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that type of shit. So, all right, let's look at the student loan thing, right? So instead of giving the money away, and you do this, you do the federal loan service forgiveness plan where you basically just work the loan off for just by doing charitable contributions, like you go volunteer somewhere, you working your fucking loan off, versus the money just being thrown away and you can't pay for it. You improve the infrastructure, and in exchange for improving infrastructure, you get your loan paid off. If you forgive the loan, which again, it's not going to men. I understand this. This is the Bernie plan. That loan forgiveness shit is not. If one man gets it, 1,000 women are gonna get it. Boy. Oh, what's up, Simon?
1,000 women gonna get it any damn way.
Yeah, exactly. But this is not like, which you gotta understand that men aren't going to benefit from any of this shit. Like, this is why I keep always going back to feminism, because people keep like, they'll forget this shit. If I don't say it, people will forget it, and then when it happens, they go, "Oh, you feminism." This isn't. This is not men shit. Feminism co-opted everything. They co-opted everything, and they co-opted Black Lives Matter. Like that student loan forgiveness is woman. When Biden, I mean, not when Biden, when Bernie first proposed it, it was for women.
Right. You're right.
So men are not getting benefiting from this shit.
Nah. But these niggas really don't look at that. only benefit they care about trying to get is access to pussy.
Yeah. I think Solid still Mike.
Yeah, he's still muted up.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I was just saying, y'all chopping it up for it. What's good, man?
Shit, just going over these fucking policies because no one else is like looking at both sides of the policies. They're just looking at one side or the other.
I mean, I honestly haven't seen the policy. I'm just commenting on, what I understand about, the information I'm getting. So, I haven't read the actual policy, but, I'm throwing my 2 cents in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then my 2 cents is just off rip without knowing shit about the policy is the hoodwink is the fact that they're trying to buy you off cheap at $500 billion.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
I mean, a nigga owe me $100 and then give me $2. That's how you get your legs broke.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, there's worse shit than that. I mean, if you was here when I was going over the student loans and taxes and shit, the Democrats just plan on giving all the money away.
Yeah.
This is why, like, when I be talking about this shit, when people be hearing me say this shit, they're like, "What do you mean, give all the money?" Like, yo, if you read these people's policies, they are literally talking about giving all of the money away.
Right.
I mean, to me, you know me, I know the backdoor deals. The fact that anybody thinks that you're dealing with two different parties, they all have the same interest.
Yeah, they all do the same shit.
They all have the same interest. It's just the people, they put the people on both sides. But if you don't believe at the end of the day, all these niggas ain't in the back room playing poker together, come on, man.
Yeah, they're
not this gullible. I mean, at least black people, I would think we wouldn't think to be so oversimplified to actually believe in Democrats and Republicans.
Oh, man, these niggas have been bought in for motherfucking centuries.
Yeah,
they have been bought in for 100 years, man.
It's the big game.
Yeah.
The game, the monopoly chips have already been set out, man. They have a propaganda machine called television and to push all the things they like. Come on, man. They doing what the people are supposed to take over. That's the fucking solution. You're not even supposed to have fucking career politicians. That's the problem, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, they're not of the people because they've convinced the people that their neighbors are their enemy and not them.
Well, I mean, nobody just gets the simple fact. I mean, you got these people who's been sitting up in here 20, 30 years. I mean, only thing they doing is getting their pockets fat. I mean, the evidence just shows that. I mean, but people are stupid.
Why wouldn't they? The people are stupid.
Exactly.
I mean, a third of the people thinks the sun revolves around the earth. So what the fuck do the people know?
Right. Yeah, there's too much of that shit running around. I mean, that
was a literal study. A third of the people thought the sun revolved around the earth, and not the earth revolved.
Yeah, and those
have you ever not seen this TV show? Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Have you ever seen the shows where they just walk up to random people and just ask them basic fucking questions that people should know? The average American public is fucking stupid, and it's not their fault. It's because they're busy and distracted, and they're broke. All right, and you have a 40-hour work week, and you got to get kids to school, and you're worried about 9,000 things, so you don't have time to invest in yourself and get knowledgeable.
I'm not going to say it's not their fault, though.
Well, you get what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Listen, we all live within this matrix, okay? There's a specific reason why we have a 40-hour work week. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It was completely psychological. A 40-hour work week works best in a capitalistic society because 40 hours was determined to be the perfect amount of time for people to not have enough time with their families, right? So if they don't have enough time with their families, then they won't invest their free time in things that will enhance their minds. They will invest their free time in things because they have so little time. This shit was all planned the fuck out. Just like feminism, get more people into the market to pay more taxes for those taxes to go to the top, and have those same group. When you have these people constricted and worrying, they're easier to control. People who have time and resources are able to invest in themselves. They're able to read and become more knowledgeable, more enhanced people ask too many goddamn questions.
See, that part I have trouble with because there are too many people that don't have all the luxury of time that invest all of their time into learning mumbo jumbo.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Listen, agreed. I can't have a conversation about billions of people and then break it down to an individual.
I'm not breaking it down to individual. I'm talking about groups.
No. So I'm agreeing with you. There are people like that. Yes, there will always be people who won't do right.
There's millions of no. This isn't about doing right. This is about the millions of people.
You know what I'm saying, man.
Right. I get you, but there's millions of people. Mm-hmm. An entire wide collective of people that fucking invest their time into learning bullshit.
I agree, but that still doesn't negate the point that I'm making. There are other billions of people, since there's 8-9 billion people in the world.
Right.
So even though there's millions of people who are doing the bullshit, there's still potentially billions of people who don't. The whole point of it in America is that we have to take your time and constrict. You think you live free. You live in a fucking police state. I mean, but
yeah, I can agree to that.
I mean, of course you live in a police state because the people who are of the republic want to protect themselves from this tyrannical government. I mean, come on. These fuckers are crooked. We know they're crooked. And then we believe in them.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in them. So here's my thing. So you got people about to go to the fucking voting polls. It's particularly when it comes to in the manosphere shit. You have these people about to go to the fucking voting polls. They don't have any idea about what the fuck either of these candidates are about. They just heard talking points on TV. Mm-hmm. They don't know what the policies are, and that's really the sad part about it. And then as I was reading this shit off, and I'm comparing both sides, and these are things that are happening. These are things that have happened, and things that are happening, and things that are planned for. So, for instance, I'll just look at the when I was talking about the taxes, the tax shit that happened is real. It happened because you can see it on your check. You can go back and look at what the tax rate was and what the tax rate is and what the tax rate changed from and to and all the rest of that shit. You can also see a public record of all the other tax shit that's happened at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So you got one side saying, what we're going to do is give away all the money and pretend like we're going to do this thing called lower taxes, but it's not really lowering taxes, it's just giving away money. But at the same time, we're going to take all of these programs that are beneficial and move that money over to programs that are not beneficial. Those programs are designated to give more money. Like, for example, the housing shit. I don't know if you was here, I was talking about this, but Biden's policy is to take $100 billion, build houses with it, put niggas in it. Now, when I say niggas, I mean women, because it's only going to be women. They're going to refund these women $15,000 if it's their first time buying a house. They're going to zone properly so that they can't like be moved out of these zones. They're going to provide legal service specifically designated to keep them from getting evicted. And then as an ultimate failsafe, they just subsidize them with vouchers.
Damn.
It's fucking amazing.
Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
I don't know if anybody doesn't think that's welfare, I don't know what kind of math you do on that.
Yeah, it's welfare like a motherfucker.
You look at the amount of people that got shitted on by Fannie and Freddie Mae with loans that you can never ever file bankruptcy for or ever get rid of. So you got the other side going, let's just take apart Fannie and Freddie Mae.
Wow. And
make banks compete for your money. So, I mean, again, these are things that are happening and have happened. I mean, they've already they've already put the sanctions on Fannie and Freddie as far as the predatory practices that they're doing, because they control half the mortgages in the United States. So again, These are things that are actually happening and have happened and will happen and shit. So there are differences between them. I get that they're like, it's all like a big game, but these things are happening. So I just advise people to take advantage of what they see in front of them and then stop looking on the surface of things and just kind of go a little bit deeper into what's going on. Because on the surface, something might look a certain way. And then when you look at the math behind this is why you look at the math behind it and you go, oh, okay. I can actually benefit from this.
Hey,
but it's just like you were saying, Silent, if you don't have the information because you're too busy trying to fucking survive, then you just don't have the information.
I wanted to answer the Golden Eagle in the chat.
Go ahead.
I'd actually answered it, but he was asking for more clarification. How are you getting hoodwinked with 500 billion? And my answer was because you're owed 18 to 20 trillion. So my example I gave you is, if you owed a dude money, if you owed him $100, or let me put it this way, if I owed you $100 and I came to you and gave you $2, damn well we ain't talking like that. So that's your answer.
I think that's what me and your disagreement is, where I actually see losers don't get prizes. If you lose a war, you don't get prizes. You just don't. There's never been in the history of the world where the losing party got reparations.
I'm okay with that. Listen, I'm okay with that. But America cannot talk about its standing in the world as being this great place. Their great failure was not exterminating us.
Right.
Black people in America prove that America ain't what it claims to be.
Right.
So they either have to pay us or just accept that they're just a big old fat old racist country that does. I mean, you know what I mean? They just have either one or two things got to happen. Like, right. You have to pay recompense. You can't have paid recompense to Asians. You definitely can't on an annual basis annually pay billions of dollars to the state of Israel. Okay, right. When we didn't even do the Holocaust.
Right.
They weren't even here.
Right. They weren't even here.
You can't have a bunch of Indian casinos up here in Oklahoma and then expect when you give black people the finger, them not say, well, hold the fuck up. all of that doesn't, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but when people call you full of shit, then you just got to own that shit. What Black people are tired of is that you're pissing on our heads and then saying, no, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah. Stop calling us criminals and shit when you put us in fucked up positions. Then what happens. What we're tired of is the constant gaslighting.
Right.
Okay. You either give us equal access and opportunities or stop pointing your fingers when half of our community is fucked up. This is what I don't like about the political arguments. Everyone points to this is that. And then when we start getting down to the issues and the root of the issues, it's, well, stop blaming people for all your problems. That's bullshit.
Right. Well, see, I don't do any of that shit. I don't really care about like pointing the finger at them or not. My big thing is basically, I just go back to the root of it. I just look at historical precedents. There just has never been a time in history where a losing party was given anything.
Well, tell that to the Japanese.
If you want,
I mean, it happened to the Japanese. Happened to remember the internment camps? They brought Japanese soldiers over here.
One of the conditions of the Japanese surrender was to give their women power, which killed their country. Right now, their population,
they gave our women power and it killed our country, and we still ain't got no money.
Right. But right now, the Japanese do not even have a population for the next generation, or the next couple of generations. So Japan is fucked. Like, I get what you're saying, but none of that, like, when you want to talk about plans, that's a plan.
I mean, then I don't. Where do we disagree? Is the argument don't give a shit? Like, what exactly do we disagree on? Like, is your place that don't give a shit and just keep it moving?
Is that I don't think America gives a shit about anyone, including Black people. America is a machine, just like any other machine. What America did was create a Frankenstein monster, and now they can't control it, and they fuck themselves. And now we're all suffering because of it.
Well, America, they did a study and said, I can't remember how many $1 trillion that America loses simply by not treating Black people right. The economic loss. Like, America literally cannot afford. This is why they're talking about giving you money, because America literally cannot afford not to.
Look at where our money goes. Do you know where all our money goes to?
To the women.
Right. Have you been keeping track of like the 100 plus year run that feminism has had in this country? Yeah. Like I went over this shit several times. This is not new information. Any of that.
But
like our money literally goes to bitches.
Destroy our communities by putting women in charge. It just bit them in the ass.
I understand, but this is women in total. Our money goes to bitches. America's money goes to women.
Yes, because they are the biggest consumers. So if they pigeonhole it to be that way because women spend money. If America just did right, this wouldn't happen, but they deliberately create a scenario to where it goes to women because they know it's the women who will spend the money.
No, we realize all that. I'm just saying that it's this is what I'm saying. Like this is why I say that for me, it's not. I don't think about the emotions of the shit at all. I don't even fuck about.
I'm not either in the emotions. We're having a conversation. I'm not in my emotions.
It's more like I said, America doesn't give a fuck about anybody. We live in a machine. They don't care. The problem is they created a Frankenstein monster that everybody keeps ignoring, and all the money goes to bitches. They co-opt everything. We saw it in real time in our lifetime. They co-opted BLM. They co-opted fucking discrimination law. They co-opted an entire legal system. They co-opted education. They co-opted every fucking institution that was designed to help Black men even get like not even to a level playing field, but just get in the game.
There's your answer. But we're saying the same thing.
Right. So what I'm saying, so like when I think about all of the other shit, none of that matters. What matters is the machine that got created is what matters. And
yes,
the only way to really beat it, but you can beat it. But see, my thing is you can beat it.
I know, but how do we beat it?
Oh my God, so many solutions. You can walk away from the hoes. You can do that. You could take advantage of the laws that they put in place. If you walk into them offices trying to get them benefits they give women, good luck. Yeah, you could just go change your gender.
Fair enough.
It's easy.
Just bend over.
No, I'm saying like
I know you're serious. I know, I know you're serious. That's why I'm laughing because it's not going to happen.
The solution is just chop your dick off.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why we go too far with the shit. It's not chop your dick off. You go change your gender on paper. On paper. This is why I lose people on paper. But here's the problem in America. Men want to solve this problem by gaming bitches into doing the right thing.
Giving up that winning lottery ticket.
You are not going to game a bitch into giving up no power. It's never gonna happen. But in America, especially niggas, because I'll be fair.
But that's not what I'm saying. So my problem is I gotta combat what other niggas are saying, because that ain't what I'm saying.
No. This isn't personal. What niggas are saying is, if I can't use this game on these hoes to get them to do what I want them to do, there is no solution. I would rather die. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit if I can't use game on these hoes. Like I'm dead serious, because all the solutions are out there. Motherfuckers have been talking about this shit for the last 100+ years. Well, not 100, like 50+ years at least, on like what's really going on and how to win. But niggas ain't trying to win. Like when I was talking about that executive order like a few weeks ago, and I was trying to tell motherfuckers that niggas didn't do this. When I saw niggas making their videos about
in all fairness, everybody got 1,017 answers of what they think black people should do, and they all think they're right. Every 5 minutes, well, niggas should just do this. Well, if you niggas just did that. Well, if you niggas just did this. Yeah, like niggas are just trying to fucking pay the damn light bill, and they got 6,000 people telling them 8,000 things black people should do, and they're all fucking right. You're the second generation of black people that got all their rights, and everyone in the universe all got the answers all at the same time, 1,000 different things you're supposed to be doing.
That's another thing. So like, this is another thing I was talking about. So what you just said, like everybody got answers. No, these problems have been worked on for a very, very long time, pre my generation. It's just in my, you do find out what the issue is. You find out what the problem is. Once it was found out what the issue was, there is answers. There's always going to be answers, but there's going to be solutions. It's just whether or not
just people, like when you see when I done heard 3 pyramid schemes, I don't care if the 4th one is legit. I don't want to hear that shit.
Where's the pyramid scheme? Where's the pyramid scheme in taking advantage of the laws that were created to fuck you over,
brother? You got to listen to me closely.
But you're interrupting me.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
So where is the pyramid scheme in taking advantage of laws that were designed to destroy you, and then flipping them and destroying them with their own laws?
But that's not what I said.
No, that's what I'm saying. You said
you're asking me where is the pyramid scheme? Well, then there is none. But that's okay. So the answer is there is none in that. Okay, gotcha. But that's not, you're responding to something I said, and I said, because I was the one that brought up pyramid scheme, then your response was, where is the pyramid scheme in this?
Let's rewind.
I didn't say that was the pyramid scheme.
Let's rewind. I was talking, and then you jumped in and said about how everyone has these answers and no one is right.
Yes, and then I didn't say and no one is right. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. Okay, what I said in context is that the people have so much shit. They don't know what they're supposed to do. And everyone's saying this is the answer. I equated that to the pyramid scheme. The first 3 people did the pyramid scheme. It didn't work. The example I gave was the 4th one, i.e. your answer, which is right. The 4th pyramid scheme comes. By that time, people aren't listening because they're desensitized. And then they got another 1,000 people telling them, 0, you're not the only one saying this is a solution. They got 1,000 other people telling them the solution is bitches. 1,000 other people,
Right.
I mean, they don't know what the fuck to think.
Right. But
black people need to just pull up their pants and wear penny loafers. All you need to do is wear a suit. All you need to do is lick your lips on camera and be a dom. The
bitch solution has been on the table forever.
Yeah.
The bitch solution is not even new. That's not even, the bitch solution is always a solution.
I'll let you have it, my brother.
The bitch solution is the nigga solution. This isn't like solutions have been presented. Niggas is not gonna try to do anything other than bitches. I get what you said, but that's not what's happening. There's no bunch of solutions that have been presented and tried or anything. Like niggas ain't even trying different solutions. They just like it's either this game on these hoes or nothing.
Yes.
You show me a time where they tried anything different.
Doing the same shit, expecting different results.
Just show me a time where they tried anything different. I would really love to know when that happened. I have no recollection of this shit.
Yeah, you're right. The same old way of doing shit has been passed down and passed down and passed down.
Yeah, my generation is notorious for it. My generation, Generation X, is notorious for it. The boomers gave them the bullshit, and then my generation fucking amplified it.
Yeah.
And gave it to all the newer niggas. And now them niggas doing the same shit.
Right.
There is nothing that's ever been tried other than these hoes. Game these hoes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the way of life for them. So I don't know. I don't get it.
I haven't seen it. I would love to see it. I haven't seen it. Game these hoes.
Yeah. And then like you brought up before too, you know, the whole the other side of the government that's against it is pretty much the same way. Well, if we talk to them, maybe they'll just do right.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you got the Democrats saying let's throw free money at these hoes and see if we can incentivize them to do the right thing. That ain't gonna work. They're just gonna spend the money and keep doing what they want.
Right.
You got the other side saying, well, we just need to convince them to do the right thing, or force them by doing this or that. But it's like we can't force them because they have the power. So
right,
their tactic is to try and talk them into doing it, which is no different than nigga shit.
Yeah,
because the Republican side is like the MRAs, men's rights activists. Their thing was trying to game hoes and doing the right thing. That's nigga shit. The Republicans is the same way. It's all nigga shit. Like no solution, nothing has been tried. Nothing outside of trying to game hoes has been tried.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Just give me some evidence. Give me some. Just give me some laws that were put there. Give me anything, because I've been studying this shit for like 2 decades. And I don't see it.
That's the mindset of the whole populace. And I really don't see it changing. I don't.
I mean, I like to see niggas. Like I said, niggas could make it, but if you look at the resistance, the sheer resistance to anything that doesn't involve like pussy related solution, it's a wrap. I remember Ramil said something that at first I was like, and then I was like, yeah. Because I went and researched and thought about it. He was like, niggas need to take a generation off. Just one generation off, because men can still have kids.
Right.
Easily. Men need to take a generation off and collectively get our shit together. One generation. One fucking generation. Then you can go out and have all the kids you want. You there now. Mm-hmm. You winning. One generation. And at first I was like, huh. But that's the thing. That's a new way of thinking, and you can't just look at it and say it's radical for the sake of being radical.
Right.
When I heard Ramil say that, I was like, oh, I went and ran the numbers, researched that shit, and I was like, yep.
If they were willing to do it, the shit could actually work.
Yep. He is absolutely fucking right. Take a generation off. Take a fucking generation off. It's like, a lot of times, the reason why motherfuckers is having all the problems they having because they made the same mistakes I made when I was young. I had kids young, struggled like a motherfucker through my 20s, and then finally got back on track. I couldn't think about like life shit because I was too busy doing nigga shit. So yeah, we do have those problems.
Yeah, true.
I agree with Sal on that. We do have those problems. You ain't got time to fucking think about life improvement when you dealing with your life.
And
but, I mean,
and then the people who could actually implement it and do it, you know, that haven't messed up their life like it because they haven't been taught to know and understand these things. They can't get a hold of it early.
Right. Well, I go into why. So I like to go into why, right? So when I was doing nigga shit, like So like in my neighborhood, I was telling people, right? In Milwaukee, if you carry books, you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight. Like somebody's gonna fight you. You're going to fight.
Yeah, it was
Fighting
like
is
that in
going
your
to
town.
happen. So that's part of the problem. Like niggas are anti
Learning.
Yeah, I guess we call it anti-nerdy, anti-information.
Well, I was gonna say anti-learning.
Yeah, anti-learning, anti-whatever the fuck. Yeah, all that. So that's a cultural thing.
Yes, it is. I agree.
So if that's a cultural thing, I fuck you fix that.
Right.
Because again, historically, there has never been a period in history where multiculturalism worked. It has never worked. Never worked. I like this. I'd love to be proven wrong on this shit. There has never been a time in history where multiculturalism worked. Never. Wow. Love to see it.
Yeah, like checking for you said, anti-intellectualism is what you're looking for. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody show me a time when multiculturalism worked.
Yeah, no. Now they're gonna all follow one for the most part.
Somebody could say Rome, but Rome didn't have they had a monoculture, but they had multiple races. There was a bunch of different people living in Rome, but they had to come and assimilate. Everybody that came to Rome had to fucking assimilate. You know how Rome got taken down? Feminism.
Gotta pay.
As soon as they started giving bitches power, that's when Rome fell down. And then they got weak. The country got weakened and they got taken over by other people. I'm gonna repeat this again. There's never been a time in history where multiculturalism worked. It doesn't work, and it never will. You can't, because once a culture is incompatible with another culture, whichever culture is more violently aggressive is going to win.
Right.
Especially if they have the numbers.
Or the technology.
Yeah, the numbers of the technology. Whichever culture is dominant is going to win. Because it's just, again, I'm just going by historical precedent. It has never worked. There's no such thing as multiculturalism. It will always fuck your shit up. You know, that's why we got people over here bragging about their fucking country, but they live here.
Right.
And again, I'm a fucking nationalist. I don't. Yeah, like when people come over here bragging about their fucking country, I don't even fucking talk to them no more. I'll be like, you should just go home then. If your country is that great, I'm just here for the money. Again, if your country is that great, I don't give a fuck why you here. You here.
Go back.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just here for the money. Like when they say that, I'm like, so your country ain't got no money?
Damn.
It's just funny to me. So yeah, I mean, every time I hear people, I don't give a fuck what they say. You here. As long as you here, you can't talk shit. You don't get to talk
makes
shit.
Sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. You don't get to talk shit. But I don't know, man. I didn't even get on the immigration shit because that fucking incendiary. Because we already know what the immigration argument is. One side wants to completely replace niggas with immigrants, and the other side wants to put up a fucking wall.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, I'm for the wall. I really am.
Well, I think what would be better, I mean, if you just, increase border security. I mean, more jobs.
Yeah,
to me, that's what I look at.
But why border security when you can just put up a big ass wall? You can have a whole infrastructure project across the United States and give people jobs for years.
Yeah, you're right there.
Fucking wall up, and then now they got construction skills that they can take somewhere else.
True.
And because the immigrants aren't coming in, there's all your jobs.
Right, man. Hey, look, here go the thing now. Let's be honest. All the work them immigrants do, these lazy motherfuckers ain't finna do that shit. They are not finna get out there. I'm just saying. We say that
bad because they're not forced to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, when it comes down to it, we say that because like they're not in a position to actually just be where they have to.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember when I was growing up, my uncle used to be like, "Shit, if you got to shovel shit, nigga, shit, you just got to do it." When I used to work at Quad Graphics. The motherfuckers will work you like a slave 12 hours a day. It'd be a fucking white dude standing by that machine. Them books be coming out. You got to stack the motherfuckers on pallets fast as hell. your fucking inside of your finger, your inside webbing of your between your thumb and pointer finger be like raw as fuck. You gotta wear gloves and shit. Sometimes motherfuckers don't wear gloves and that shit start bleeding.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, man, shit. I'm not unfamiliar to hard work. Is just fucking again those jobs. The reason why immigrants doing it because motherfuckers like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm better. I ain't doing that shit.
At the Golden Eagle, here's the thing. I wasn't even just talking about black people just in general. I was talking about lazy ass Americans here in general. And I live in the South. These niggas is not finna, and when I say niggas, I'm not just talking about black people. They are not finna be going out there working in them fields like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you will see Mexicans on the side of the motherfucking road selling oranges and apples and shit. These niggas are not finna pick these damn farms and shit for that shit. Sun too hot, they're gonna be crying all the damn time. Now, if you took away motherfucking welfare, which it ain't gonna happen, they would be forced to have to go out there and do that shit. But
yeah, I mean, again, you don't know a situation until a situation happens. I mean, immigration is always going to be a thing. People are going to immigrate. It's going to happen. It's not even like immigration will stop when the wall goes up. So it'll be so significantly reduced. Because what you gotta understand is it's not like those people keep the only people that even work those jobs are first generation.
True.
The only people that work those jobs.
True.
This is why that dude John Stossel, when he did that 2020 assignment a long time ago, and he was talking to that Mexican lady, and she was like she was against immigration, and they asked her why. She was like, because they're gonna take jobs from my grandchildren. And she was like, yeah, but you immigrated over here, and she was like, so what?
Right. Once they get here and they like fuck that shit.
Right.
Yeah. True.
Because they understand the. Again, she snuck over here. Okay. So her thing, she's not looking at it the same way we looking at it.
Right.
The way she's looking at it is, when I die, I'm gonna have family after me that need to work.
Right.
She wasn't thinking about it like we thinking about it. She thinking about it like in a more societal kind of way. Like she don't want her fucking family to have jobs taken from her. She don't give a fuck about people from her home country. She's like, I'm over here now.
Right.
I made it. They didn't. She's like,
I'm here. Fuck them.
I'm here. Fuck yeah. She's like, I'm here. Fuck them. It's me and my family now.
Right.
She don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the one thing too. Whenever you see these immigrants come over here, they actually use the welfare system in the way it's actually supposed to be used. They use it as a motherfucking launching pad to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Instead of staying there in that shit and having an excuse to like, okay, I ain't got to do shit since I'm being given this shit.
Right. But I mean, the reason why I don't give a fuck about immigration, the reason why I'm against it is because they become ancient people too. Like, they become ancient people too. It's just like you see these fucking third, fourth generation Arab dudes, driving Benzes and shit, bumping fucking NBA Youngboy, 21 Savage, all fucking loud and shit. It's like, nigga, you ain't even a nigga.
Right, but you bumping nigga music. Right. No, you're right. It does.
Then come to the court and act like they still better than you and shit. You be playing, you be hooping with these niggas. They trying to act like they better than you, but like it's like, nigga, you listening to our music all the fucking time. You chasing our hoes and then get mad when we fuck your hoes. Like you niggas ain't shit. Like they ain't shit people.
Right.
So I don't give a fuck about immigration. Fuck immigration. Yeah, but put the fucking wall up. Stop the niggas from flying over here. Fuck these niggas. I just don't care.
I mean, I agree. I mean, you just can't be letting just anybody in and fuck all this shit, man. You gotta regulate this shit better. I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those things where motherfuckers be acting like that. That shit ain't good. That shit ain't. Yeah. Oh, they do the jobs that nobody else want to do. Okay, the old motherfuckers do. They kids don't do that shit. They kids take your job.
Yeah, once they they learn. Yeah, you're right.
Them niggas gonna be in your IT position that you wanted. And they're gonna benefit from being more of a minority than you. Fuck out of here. No. Fuck them niggas.
And if they ain't there,
they need to think about this shit differently, man.
And their men are definitely off in the trades.
Yeah, they men in the trades. They just like, yeah, and when they get in the trades, you not getting in the trades.
No.
When the motherfuckers get into things and take it over, that's theirs now.
The motherfuckers all in construction and shit, pouring concrete, building buildings, doing
Go
all
to
of
a
this
fucking
shit.
airport pre-COVID.
Mm.
Go to an airport pre-COVID. All you're gonna see is Somalis in that motherfucker. They had that shit locked up.
Oh yeah.
They had that shit locked down. Nothing but Africans.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got a few of them this way.
Yeah. Go. Well, especially I'm gonna say Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago.
Yeah.
And Chicago got two giant airports. Nothing but Africans work there.
Damn.
Nigga, man, come on, man. Hell, fuck that shit. I don't care about that shit. Yeah, like every time when I'm like when I go to the gym here and shit, and motherfuckers be coming at me with that fucking I'm this, I'm that. I'll be like, and
right. Okay.
Man,
your point is,
man, if your shit is so good, what the fuck, bro? Didn't you run from a war? Nigga, you a refugee. Don't you know what that mean? I'm not
you lost.
I'm not a refugee. I was like, well, that's even worse, nigga. That means your country ain't so much shit that you have to willingly come over here and ain't nothing wrong. Like, fuck out here, motherfuckers, man. Yeah, I don't like talking to the niggas, man.
New funny. He said they used to be scientists and they come to Vegas driving cabs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I get it, man. The niggas, yeah, I get it. That's like motherfuckers is Dick Rod and DJ Khaled and all the mother motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, that's great. I don't care about none of that shit. And I'm not even racist. It's just one of the things where it's just like when you big up your own demise. I don't really know what to think about that.
Right.
You big up in your own fucking demise.
Right. Yeah. That's a great point. But I mean, you know, simple-minded people, they really don't.
Is there equivalent of DJ Khaled in his home country? Just saying.
Well, they got something better. Motherfuckers own the motherfucking oil pits and shit, but hey. You ain't getting in that family.
Like, I'm just saying, is there
right
a fucking what is he? Israeli or Palestinian? Which one? I forget.
I thought it was Israeli, but I might be wrong.
He's one of the motherfuckers, but you ain't gonna see you not gonna see his equivalent where he come from. And they have music stars. It's not like they don't have music stars. They do. You ain't gonna see that shit over there. You're not gonna see none of that shit over there. All the people that be killing in black music and shit that's of different nationalities, you're not gonna see the black equivalent in their nationality. You're not gonna see it. Not gonna see that shit in their country.
Right.
So fuck that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't be racist with the shit. I don't be like a hater with the shit. I'm just looking at it objectively. You're not gonna see the same thing with them. So why the fuck do you accept it? Why you got to put up with that shit? Why you care?
He's Palestinian. His parents were Palestinian.
Oh, he's Palestinian. Yeah, do what you.
They immigrated. Shit. He born here.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so he born here, and now look, the second generation. He out here.
Yeah, his parents
doing
are
your
Palestinian.
Shit. Out here doing your shit. Took your job. It was supposed to be some nigga at DJ Khaled doing some we the best shit, but no, it's him. It probably was a nigga out there going, yeah. Where he
took it from him.
There you go. Fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, hey. They gonna do it. You got them people, they gonna see that opportunity to take it. They gonna take it.
They're supposed to.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, they're supposed to. They're supposed to take advantage of that shit. It's like if somebody making money in America and then complain about how fucked up America is, I get it. Like America is fucked up, like, or whatever. Every country is fucked up. All of them. There is no society on the planet that's not fucked up. All of them. All of them. All of them.
Right.
Just travel. All of them fucked up. All of them.
All of them got some kind of fucked up aspect to them.
Not even some kind of all of them.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, they gonna fuck the people over.
Yeah.
Get theirs. Yeah, you're right.
All of them fucked up. Like every last one of them. Well, I remember I heard the argument on P-Power where it was like, man, China and North Korea and all these other countries, they got that COVID shit under control real fast. I'm like, yeah, because they don't give a fuck about human rights. They just round people up and put them somewhere.
Yeah, either you keep your ass in the house or damn it, your ass going to this concentration camp.
It's real easy. Yeah, it's real easy to get it under control when you don't give a fuck about human rights.
Yeah,
why do you think all the countries that got it under control real fast didn't give a fuck about human rights violations? You didn't hear how they did it either. The fuck, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine if your country did that. Imagine if we did that here. Every motherfucker that tested positive just disappeared. You never saw him again.
Ah, boy. Hey,
think about it.
Yeah. Well, that shit started right, boy.
Everybody you know, as soon as they contract that shit, they just disappear. Like, man, old boy was over.
Damn, what happened to him?
Nigga gone.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the shit I'm talking about, man. Like, fuck out of here. That shit is, fuck it, man. And like I said, I'm not. It's not even racism. It's just you look at other countries. If anything, I'm a culturalist.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm all about it. Like,
I agree.
I don't give a fuck about other people's countries. I don't live there. I have no vested interest in those other countries. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care. I can't say that because I do be researching other countries. I do be seeing what the fuck they do. I be nosy as fuck politically, but I mean, when it comes to here and there, I would rather live here than there.
Gotcha. But I mean, your first interest is here because this is where you're at. So
yeah, you can't.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you can't even say the president is trash over there.
Okay. Not and get heard.
Right. Anyway, man, that's all I wanted to do. Go over those fucking policy things, man. Just I mean, again, no one's really doing it. I guess I'll continue to see motherfuckers still on streams and panels, fucking going ape shit over one candidate or the other without knowing anything about what either or are doing.
Any type of policy, period.
Just, dude said this yesterday. Okay. So we'll see that shit.
Yeah. And
then I'm waiting for the nigga version of Buju Banton.
You say Buju Banton.
I'm just saying, man. Like look at other people's countries, you ain't gonna see that shit. You ain't gonna see it. Even in African countries, you're not gonna see the nigga equivalent of a star. Nigga, you ain't gonna see that shit over there. Yeah. They love our stars. Yeah. We can go over there, but you ain't gonna see you ain't gonna see a fucking nigga immigrant come up over there like that.
Right. No, you're right.
You ain't gonna fucking happen. I love it. I love to see it. I laugh my ass off.
You're right. But all right, man.
All right.
Peace.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Later.
I go check out some of this fuckery.